Chapter 779. Hearing this, the tiger head in midair suddenly laughed. His soft laughter caused the miasma within a radius of dozens of miles to riot wildly. You think you can break into the banishing demon town? Do you know that there are 3 sky origin stage cultivators in the town of monsters? What a joke. I can't believe a little half-beast could be so arrogant. It is a miracle that you are still alive. Fine, I will send you on your way. Suddenly, the sky above the demonic miasma mountains was filled with stars. The moon was high up in the sky. Even through the thick miasma, the moon could be seen clearly. At the same time, a powerful force came down from the sky. The ridgeback venom beast had already moved far away. It thought, what an ungrateful half-beast. How dare you piss off the demon ancestor? You deserve it. However, Lung Shichi did not change his expression. He continued, because I am a half-beast, I can enter the banishing demon town. With that said, Lung Shichi's body changed as he dispelled the wild demon blood beast physique. However, he did not show his true form. He turned into a big rough man. Only his eyes still had some green light spots. Everything else was the same as a normal human being. The tiger head's laughter came to an abrupt end, and the power of the stars and moon in the sky also paused. The pair of lantern-sized tiger eyes flashed with an inexplicable light. After a while, the tiger head spat out a beam of light. It turned into a door in front of Lung Shichi. The tiger head said, "Come in." Lung Shichi knew that he was valuable enough to impress the tiger head. He took a deep breath and stepped into the door. He was ready to face the 2 7th-rank beasts. Meanwhile, the venom beast on the ridge beast's back widened its eyes in disbelief. It had never seen a demonic beast that could get close to 2 demonic beasts. Even a 6th-rank beast like it did not have the right to do that. But now, a half-demon enjoyed such treatment. At the same time that it was shocked, boundless jealousy and resentment arose in its heart. So what if you are powerful? You are still a half-beast with an impure bloodline. Just wait and see. If Lung Shichi were to use his wild demon blood beast form anywhere else, he would most likely be recognized. After all, information about him was gradually spreading. However, the demonic beasts of the demonic miasma mountain range had never left this place in their entire lives, so they had never heard of him before. Therefore, it was impossible for them to recognize him based on this. When Lung Shichi stepped through the door of light, he was already in another space. The area here wasn't very large. He could sense that it was only about 100 miles in radius. However, most of the area was isolated from his perception. There must be restrictions protecting it. This thought flashed through Lung Shichi's mind. He had never heard of another space in the depths of the demonic miasma mountain range, otherwise Nine Leave would have mentioned it long ago. Furthermore, the demonic beast would definitely not set up such exquisite formations and restrictions. From the scene in front of him, he could already confirm that there were still spirit cultivators here. Brat, watch your eyes. At this moment, a brawny man walked over. This man was bare-chested, and there was a crescent moon on his forehead. There was a mysterious star pattern engraved on his body, which was somewhat similar to the one on Lung Shichi's body. Seeing this strong man, Lung Shichi knew that this person must be the level 7 great demonic beast, the heavenly moon-winged tiger. However, Lung Shichi had seen many heavenly origin realm experts and had even killed one with his own hands, so he was not afraid at all. The heavenly moon-winged tiger walked to Lung Shichi and said condescendingly, "I am the demonic beast ancestor of the demonic miasma mountain range. Explain what you just said clearly. If you can satisfy this demonic beast ancestor will have a way to help you advance to level 7. But if you don't, you know what will happen to you." Lung Shichi did not answer directly. Instead, he pretended to ponder. At the same time, he was also observing his surroundings because there should be another demon sable, but it did not appear. He said, "Demonic ancestor Star Moon, I am a half-demon. I can show my demonic aura and also show my human form. I have lived among the humans for decades and am proficient in the art of concealing my aura. Therefore, I can even enter the demon-suppressing town openly and collect information for the demon race. Just collecting information is not enough." This sentence did not come from the heavenly winged tiger, but from behind Lung Shichi. Lung Shichi turned around and saw a stooped old man walking over. This person's face was extremely ugly, especially his pair of hooked eyes that were filled with a sinister look. At a glance, one could tell that he was not a good person. He thought to himself, "The Chaos Demon Black Martin has finally appeared. Who is this ancestor?" Lung Shichi bowed. "I am the Chaos Demon ancestor of the demonic miasma mountain range. Your origin is unknown. If you want to survive in the demonic miasma mountain range, You must show some sincerity. The Chaos Demon Black Martin's voice sounded very sinister, like the sound of bones rubbing against each other. Lung Shichi smiled. "To demon race, since I am here, I can't come empty-handed. In fact, I have been hiding in the demon-suppressing town for some time. I know all the information in the town." The Heavenly Winged Tiger's expression changed and immediately asked, "Tell us." The Chaos Demon Black Martin frowned slightly. It felt that the Heavenly Winged Tiger was too anxious and lost the initiative. However, they had been holed up in the demonic Miasma mountain range and knew almost nothing about the demon-suppressing town. Therefore they also wanted to know the specific situation inside. Lung Shichi answered, "As far as I know, the Thunderfire dynasty sent one of the 4 Dark Thunder Guards, Lu Xingji, to the demonic Miasma mountain range. This person's cultivation is only at the late stage of the unity of heaven and man realm, but he is favored by the Thunderfire dynasty emperor. He also brought many experts from the Dark Thunder Guards. The strongest among them is the Sky Origin Realm expert from the Imperial Hall of Worship. He dares to come to the demonic Miasma mountain range when he is only at the late stage of the unity of heaven and man realm. He is courting death." The Heavenly Winged Tiger sneered. The Chaos Demon Black Martin asked, "We have fought with the 3 Sky Origin Realm experts from the Imperial Hall of Worship. Only the one who can control lightning is stronger. As for the other 2, they are just average. This information is still not enough." Lung Shichi smiled mysteriously. "To demon race, don't be anxious. The most important thing is that Lu Xingji is not on good terms with the 2 Sky Origin Realm experts who barged in not long ago. The 2 of them disobeyed orders and barged into the demonic Miasma mountain range. When they returned, they refused to accept Lu Xingji, a junior commander. They have been quarreling for a long time. As long as the 2 of you are willing to lend me a hand, I am confident that I can sow discord and make them fight among themselves." The Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Black Martin fell silent. Lung Shichi could see that they were tempted. The Chaos Demon Black Martin's eyes flashed and asked suspiciously, "How did you know about such a secret?" "To be honest, I have been living in the demon-suppressing town. This town is close to the demonic Miasma mountain range and there are many of my race who come and go. So I am more or less exposed to the demonic Miasma mountain range. I made use of this environment to hide my true identity. After a long time I set up many methods and spies. That's how I got this information." Lung Shichi explained. "As long as the 2 of you can lend me something, I can make the experts in the demon-suppressing town kill each other. This way there is nothing to be afraid of. If this is successful, the 2 of you can even lead my race to attack the demon-suppressing town and show off my race's might. If you fail, I will be the only one exposed. To the 2 of you, the demonic Miasma mountain range will not suffer any losses." The Chaos Demon Black Martin thought about it carefully and felt that this matter was beneficial. The only thing it was worried about was what it would have to pay. "What do you want to borrow?" Lung Shichi's killing intent flashed and said, "A rank 6 demonic core." Chapter 780. How dare you? The Heavenly Winged Tiger was furious. Lung Shichi dared to mention the monster core in front of 2 rank 7 monsters. He had crossed the line. The mixed devil sable reacted differently. Instead of being angry, it was confused. A rank 6 monster core can make several Sky Origin stage cultivators and that Major Domo kill each other? Are you toying with us? How dare I? Lung Shichi explained, "I have a secret technique that can plant a monster core into a human's body and cause them to mutate. They will look like half demons, but they will only last for a short period of time before they explode and die. I have used this skill to escape from being hunted down many times. I'm going to use it on Lu Xingji. Hey, the 4 Major Domo who came to kill the monsters was a half monster. I don't think I need to tell you what will happen to him. Besides, Lu Xingji has a good relationship with one of the Sky Origin stage cultivators. The Sky Origin stage cultivator will probably protect him. In this way there will be internal strife. But Lu Xingji is one of the 4 Major Domo of the Dark Thunder Guards. He must have powerful guards. Besides, there are 3 Sky Origin stage cultivators in the city. I am afraid you can't even get close to him." The mixed devil sable still had some doubts. Lung Shichi smiled mysteriously, "I have my ways. As long as you can lend me a rank 6 monster core, I will wait for your good news." He didn't continue to explain in detail. It was better for him to keep a certain degree of mystery. As expected, the Heavenly Winged Tiger immediately changed its expression and smiled. "It seems that you are quite capable. Your idea is good. We can have a try. We don't have a rank 6 monster core. But it doesn't matter. I can kill 1 monster for you." It was furious because of the monster core, but now it didn't care about the monster core at all, as if the rank 6 monsters under its command were just tools. Lung Shichi said, "I think the venom-ridged beast is very suitable." Easy. After saying that, the heavenly winged tiger suddenly disappeared. After a few breaths it reappeared. Its right hand was covered with sticky green blood, and there was a huge 6th-rank monster pill lying in it. Seeing this, Lung Shichi's eyes narrowed slightly. The monster core of the spine-poison beast was taken away in just a few seconds. How fast was the heavenly winged star tiger? A smile appeared on his face. He accepted the beast pellet and said, "Don't worry. In a few days the demon suppression city will be in chaos. When that happens, how you want to deal with the city will be up to you." "Ah, good. I'll be waiting for your good news." The heavenly winged tiger laughed. He raised one hand and a portal appeared behind the Lung Shichi. Lung Shichi cupped his hands and turned to leave. When he left the sealed space, a thin layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. It was impossible for him not to be nervous when facing 2 Class 7 great demons. Fortunately, he had the identity of a half-demon. Otherwise, even if he had the underworld as a life-saving trump card, his life would be in danger. His trip this time was not in vain. Although it was a short time, he confirmed that there were still mysterious spirit cultivators hidden in the demon miasma mountain range. He could also tell that the 2 great demons of the 7th step were also very afraid of the demon-suppressing city. However, Lung Shichi had not guessed why the demon miasma mountain range would take the initiative to stir up trouble. The current demon miasma mountain range looked very powerful. On the surface, there were 2 Class 7 great demons and a hidden force behind them. In addition, there were many high-level demonic beasts and countless low-level demonic beasts. This force was comparable to a top sect like the Blood Cloak Pavilion. But even so, it was still not enough in front of the Thunderblaze dynasty. For example, this time, Lung Shichi had failed to eliminate the demons. Even if the demon suppression city was destroyed, so what? Next, it would only attract more experts. Sooner or later, the demon miasma mountain range would be defeated. Regarding this point, the Chaos Demon Black Martin must have seen through it, but why did it still do it? What was their real purpose in doing this? This was what Lung Shichi wanted to know the most, and what he was most worried about. He could also feel that the Chaos Demon Black Martin and the starry heavenly winged tiger did not trust him at all. The reason why they let him go and gave him the demonic core was because they wanted to try their luck. Anyway, they had nothing to lose. And only by doing this could Lung Shichi truly integrate into the demon miasma mountain range, and only then could he further investigate their real purpose. At the same time, what he agreed to was an opportunity to deal with the demon miasma mountain range. When Lung Shichi left, the starry heavenly winged tiger in the sealed space stopped smiling. Its face was full of shrewdness, and it was not as easily affected by emotions as before. He said in a deep voice, "Old Martin, can this half-demon be trusted?" The Chaos Demon Black Martin did not seem to like the title of Old Martin. He said snappily, "Nonsense, of course not. Don't forget, as a half-demon he still has half of the human bloodline. Naturally, he might be on the side of the human race. Who knows, he might be someone sent by the demon-suppressing city to investigate." "Then why did you ask me to let him in?" The starry heavenly winged tiger curled its lips. Only by letting him in and giving him some useful information can we know what he's going to do next. Only then can we see which side he's on." Saying that, the demon-mixed demon Black Martin laughed sinisterly. "If he really wants to join us and make a mess of the demon-suppressing town, we can also take the opportunity to attack the demon-suppressing town and let the Thunder Flame Imperial Dynasty and all the spirit cultivator in the world know of the rise of my spirit demon clan. Also, after using that method to refine a half-demon with such strength, we can have another fighting force that is not weaker than you and me. Of course, it's a fighting force that is under our control." "Good old Martin, you're really scheming." The starry heavenly winged tiger laughed. The Chaos Demon Black Martin said angrily, "How many times have I told you, don't call me old Martin? Just back then when that beautiful scorpion called you that, I didn't see you so angry." The Chaos Demon Old Martin's face suddenly became extremely gloomy. The starry heavenly winged tiger moved its feet and disappeared. Not long after, Lung Shichi on the other side had already arrived at the edge of the demon miasma mountain range at an extremely fast speed. Under the activation of the supercilious eyes, he discovered that many experts had appeared on the city walls of the demon-suppressing city. Most of them were spirit cultivators from the Dark Thunder Guards, and there was also someone he was extremely familiar with. At this time, on the city walls of the demon-suppressing city, a beautiful figure stood alone, looking in the direction of the demon miasma mountain range. Suddenly, a cool breeze blew past, and a trace of surprise flashed across her eyes, but she immediately felt more at ease. She knew that Leng Shiqi had returned. After Leng Shiqi returned, he immediately gathered all the higher-ups. Before he could explain why he returned so quickly, he said, "Everyone, we need to put on a show next." Chapter 781. 2 days later, a dense demonic aura suddenly rose in demon-suppressing city. The appearance of this demonic chi was very sudden, causing the people in the city to turn pale with fright. Could it be a demonic beast from the demonic miasma mountain range? Soon after, a monster covered in green venom dashed towards the city gate. Everything in its path was corroded by the venom. It was a terrifying sight. Demon? I didn't expect you to be a spy from the demonic miasma mountain range. 2 shouts resounded through the clouds. Then 24 meters tall Dharma images appeared. One was a majestic water god, and the other was a palace made up of layers of arrays. When the 2 Dharma images appeared, the air in the entire demon-suppressing city froze under the boundless pressure. The towering palace swayed slightly, and an invisible force crushed down, causing the monster's escaping speed to plummet. Deep water's image formed a seal, and the heavenly river descended. The waves reversed, and a torrential rain began to fall within dozens of miles. The huge waves swept over, and the endless yuan qi of heaven and earth was about to kill the monster. However, at this moment there was an explosion in the sky. Black clouds covered the sky and lightning flashed. There was a terrifying beast hidden in the clouds. Deep Water's image raised his head and said, "Old man, you want to stop us?" A figure appeared above the majestic palace. It was Zhong Jinliang. He said even more impolitely, "This person is actually a half-demon. He has been hiding in the Thunderflame dynasty for so long without being discovered. Now he has finally revealed his weakness. Those who are not of our race must have a different heart. I think the change in the demonic miasma mountain range is related to him. He must die. You and I are both from the Imperial Hall of Worship. Naturally, we have to be loyal to the dynasty. If you insist on protecting him, don't blame us for not showing mercy." In the sky, the lightning condensed into an image. Was the old man. He said awkwardly, "Although he is a half-demon, so what? Humans are divided into good and evil. You don't understand him. I can guarantee that he is absolutely loyal to the Thunderflame dynasty. There is no way he is related to the demonic miasma mountain range." "Enough," Zhong Jinliang said angrily. "I would rather kill the wrong person than let him go. At most, I will take all the blame. Get out of my way." The old man seemed to be enraged as well. "He's my brother. If you want to kill him, you'll have to step over my dead body first." Good brother. Let me see how you're going to stop the 2 of us." As soon as Zhong Zhenliang finished speaking, several different colored formations appeared in the sky. He had actually set up several formations with a wave of his hand. The formation fell, immediately blocking the monster and the old man. Lan Rua sighed softly and said, "Now that things have come to this, don't blame me. Brother Zhong, delay the old man. I will go and kill that monster." "Who dares?" the old man roared. Thunderclouds rolled as a lightning beast leaped out of the clouds towards Lan Rua. The old man himself charged towards Zhong Zhenliang. A battle between Heaven Origin stage cultivators suddenly broke out in the town of monsters. This made the spirit cultivator and the residents of the city feel as if the sky was collapsing. As the saying goes, when immortals fight, mortals suffer. Fortunately, Zhong Zhenliang's array formation not only trapped the old man and the monster, but also blocked the shockwaves from their battle within the array formation, allowing many spirit cultivators to be safe and sound. However, they didn't dare to let their guard down and frantically retreated. They were also puzzled. Why would their own experts fight among themselves when everything was fine and dandy? From the conversation of the 3 Heaven Origin stage cultivators, it seemed to be related to a half-demon. Most of them had lived in the town of monsters for a long time and naturally knew of the existence of half-demons. And this half-demon's identity seemed to be extraordinary. Some wanted to kill, some wanted to protect, so they started fighting. They didn't have the mood to gossip, they were most concerned about their own safety. You cultivators who came to suppress the demons started fighting among yourselves. Who would go and suppress the demons? What if another beast tide happened at this time? What would they do? Of course, they didn't know that everything they saw was arranged by Leng Shiqi. That monster was none other than Leng Shiqi. He had refined the venomous spine beast's beast core and turned it into his beast essence battle runes. Hence, he had gained a part of the venomous spine beast's image and abilities. He arranged this show for the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger in the demonic miasma mountains. Otherwise, the two 7th-rank monsters wouldn't believe him and wouldn't do anything. The reason why Leng Shiqi chose this day was that the Red Thunder Army would enter the town of monsters the next day. So far, the existence of Gu Hetong was a secret. He came to the town of monsters after Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo. Except for the higher-ups, no one knew that he was here. Moreover, if the Red Thunder Army entered the town of monsters, so many people would definitely be noticed by the demonic miasma mountains. By then, the town of monsters might be in chaos for a while. However, with the Red Thunder Army guarding the town of monsters, the demonic miasma mountains wouldn't dare to invade. At this moment, on a piece of land not far from the town of monsters, several earthbind rats crawled out. Some of them were at the 3rd level while some were at the 4th level. At the same time, several bird-type monsters were hovering in the sky. They were all paying attention to what was happening in the town of monsters. Squeak, squeak, these monsters talked with each other for a while. Then several flying monsters flew to the depths of the demonic miasma mountains. Soon, the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger got the news that the town of monsters was in chaos. In fact, they didn't need those low-level monsters to report. Even if they were deep in the center of the demonic miasma mountains, they could sense the powerful origin energy fluctuations in the town of monsters. They are really fighting. The heavenly winged tiger murmured. Then it turned around and asked, should we take the opportunity to attack the town of monsters? The demon sable's expression changed. It was still trying to judge whether it was true or not. I can't see anything yet. They might be doing it on purpose. Let's wait for a while. Then it changed its meaning, but we should gather all the clans and get ready to attack the town of monsters at any time. Okay, I'll do it now. The heavenly winged tiger was about to leave, but a slender figure suddenly appeared. The person said in a sharp voice, I've only been away for a while, and you two are ready to attack the town of monsters? Who gave you the confidence? Who gave you the right to do it? The demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger were both shocked when the person showed up. Deep fear flashed in their eyes. The demon sable smiled, Mr. Zhou, you're back so soon. That thing must have gone well. A trace of displeasure flashed across the face of the man called Mr. Zhou. Don't ask about my business. Just do your own thing. You have to remember that it was me who helped you reach the 7th level. You even have the power beyond the Sky Origin stage. But since I can give you power, I can take it back. It turned out that this person was the one behind the scenes. Chapter 782. A flattering smile bloomed on the mixed demon sable's face. Mr. Zhou is right, very right. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger was even more obedient. Mr. Zhou looked at them with disdain, as if the two 7th-rank beasts were trash in his eyes. Tell me what happened in the past few days. Mr. Zhou said condescendingly. The mixed demon sable immediately told him about Leng Shiqi's appearance and promise. Mr. Zhou's eyes flashed. The appearance of this half-demon is too strange, but there is an internal conflict in the demon-suppressing city. Interesting. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger asked tentatively, should we attack the demon-suppressing town? Of course he and the mink wanted to. Only by doing so could the demonic miasma mountain range shock the Thunderfire dynasty and even the Falling Star continent. Only by doing so could they achieve their goal. As for how they would bear the fury of the Thunderfire dynasty after attacking the demon-suppressing town, that would depend on Mr. Zhou. That was why they were flattering Mr. Zhou so much. Don't worry. Mr. Zhou was even more cautious than the mink. There are 3 Sky Origin Realm cultivators in the demon-suppressing town. It seems to be a big fight, but there are no casualties. You are all 7th-rank beasts. That little fight won't affect your battle power much. So, we can't rule out the possibility that they are acting. Their goal is to lure you away from the demonic miasma mountain range. The mink and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger's hearts sank. They were able to force back the masters of the Imperial Hall of Worship twice because of the formation in the demonic miasma mountain range. Also, their power would increase in this formation. Once they left the demonic miasma mountain range, they would lose this formation. Their overall power would drop by 10 to 20%. Don't underestimate this 10 to 20%. In a battle between Sky Origin Realm cultivators, the slightest difference would be magnified infinitely. Mr. Zhou, you mean? Wait. Mr. Zhou said with certainty, since that half-beast has the ability to cause an internal conflict in the demon-suppressing town, let me see how chaotic it can be. Unless the 3 Sky Origin Realm cultivators are really angry, we can't act rashly. Mr. Zhou, you are very thoughtful. We are ashamed of our inferiority. Unknowingly, the two seventh-order dire monsters had turned into bootlickers as well. At the same time, Zhong Zhenliang, Lan Ruo, and the old man were still fighting in the demon-suppressing city. They glanced at Leng Shiqi. They were hinting to Leng Shiqi if this was enough. 2 nights ago, Leng Shiqi and the others had already discussed it. They couldn't really kill each other as soon as they arrived. At most, it would be considered a sparring session. However, if this still did not attract the demonic Miasma Mountain Range's attack, then he would have to use his true strength. Leng Shiqi secretly opened the system map and found that a large number of monsters in the demonic Miasma Mountain Range were indeed gathering, but they did not seem to be attacking. He narrowed his eyes and nodded lightly. The old man and the other two immediately understood what he meant. After that, the enormous lightning beast behind the old man suddenly vanished, and it condensed into a lightning spear that flickered for 500 kilometers. Black clouds rolled as if the sky was about to collapse. It actually looked like a heavenly tribulation. Lan Ruo's original body and the water god's illusion merged into one, and the figure was covered in a layer of gorgeous armor. Immediately, huge waves surged and the demon-suppressing city was instantly submerged, turning into an underwater city. Zhong Zhenliang, like the thousand-hand Guanyin, released countless spells. In an instant, hundreds of formations appeared in the sky and on the ground. These formations were trapping formations, sealing Leng Shiqi and the old man in all directions. There were also illusion formations, layers of illusions constantly corroding their minds. If they made a mistake, they would be at the mercy of others. There were also endless killing formations. The slightest bit of carelessness would result in a tragic death. The 3 Sky Origin stage rankers had finally taken out their trump cards, and when such a destructive power exploded out, the first to suffer was the demon-suppressing realm and the many-spirit cultivator S. When the huge waves came crashing down, the demon-suppressing city immediately suffered countless casualties. Screams, cries, and sounds of fear filled the entire city. Not only that, even the sturdy city wall, which had been reinforced countless times, collapsed with a loud bang. The demon-suppressing city was broken. The funny thing was, it was actually broken by the Thunder Flame Dynasty's cultivators. When Leng Shiqi saw the hellish demon-suppressing city, he couldn't help but admire Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo. That's right, admiration. Because everything he saw at this moment was both real and fake. The collapse of the city walls was real, but the people who died were fake. Actually, when Lan Ruo used her full strength, he activated the formation that took more than a day to set up, and moved all the spirit cultivators out of the demon-suppressing city. As for what Leng Shiqi saw, it was actually the scene displayed by Zhong Zhenliang's illusion formation. Not only the scene, even the expressions of these people, their fear and the smell of blood were exactly the same as the real thing. Under the hands of 2 Sky Origin stage cultivators who were proficient in formations, they were actually able to do such a thing. As expected, those who could cultivate to the Sky Origin stage were not simple. In the sky, the water god, the thunder spear blade and the boundless formation finally collided. At this moment, Leng Shiqi only felt that the earth was shaking, and the heaven and earth origin energy within a radius of hundreds of miles was like boiling water. Waves of amazing spiritual chi spread out. In the blink of an eye, the sky darkened and the space twisted. Boom, boom, boom. Under the aftermath, the demon-suppressing city was broken into pieces. Especially Leng Shiqi, who was so close, even a spirit gang realm cultivator would be directly crushed by the spiritual pressure. Even Leng Shiqi felt a little difficult to breathe. But what he cared about the most was not this, but what would the demonic Miasma Mountain Range do? Mr. Zhou and the other two who were still in the center of the demonic Miasma Mountain Range were still waiting. At this time, a roar came and even hundreds of miles away, a large number of low-level demonic beasts panicked. Feeling this aura, the 3 of them looked at each other in surprise. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger said unbelievably, "I'm afraid they have done their best. They seem to be serious." The Demon Sable didn't speak. He kept looking at Mr. Zhou, but his eyes were full of eagerness. Obviously he intended to attack the demon-suppressing city. But the final decision was still in Mr. Zhou's hands. Mr. Zhou raised his eyes and looked into the distance. His eyes were a little empty, as if he could see what was happening hundreds of miles away. The demon-suppressing city is broken. He said these 3 words. What? Really? The Demon Sable and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger asked one after another. It was not difficult for them to break the city wall of the demon-suppressing city. But the point was, once they showed up, the Sky Origin stage cultivators would naturally deal with them, so they didn't have time to break the city wall. But if other high-level demonic beasts attacked the city wall, they would suffer a great loss. The city wall had always been a big worry for them. Now that the city wall was broken, who could stop their army of demonic beasts? Mr. Zhou suddenly smiled sinisterly. It seems that we are lucky this time. Order to attack the demon-suppressing city. Chapter 783. Roar, roar, roar. The demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range roared. Countless demons immediately rushed towards the demon-suppressing town with red eyes. The star and moon heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable clenched their fists tightly. How many years had it been? These demons were like fish on the chopping board, like livestock in a cage at the mercy of the spirit cultivators. Every year, countless demons died in the hands of spirit cultivators. If not for the low-level demon's strong reproductive ability, the demonic Miasma mountain range would have been slaughtered long ago. As a result, all the demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range were filled with endless hatred for humans. This hatred had been accumulated for countless years. Today the demon-suppressing town had been broken, and they had to repay the humans. With their blood, with their flesh and blood. The demon beast army rushed towards the demon-suppressing town. Lung Shiqi immediately captured the movement through the system map. He laughed in his heart. Success. He was not afraid of the demon beast army, but he was afraid that the other party would not make a move. Although the walls of the demon-suppressing town had collapsed and the city was almost destroyed, it was only an empty city. The Thunderfire dynasty could easily rebuild it. As long as the demon beasts were lured out of the demonic Miasma mountain range, it was equivalent to losing the protection and amplification of the mysterious array. And the demon-suppressing town was Lung Shiqi's home ground. He transmitted to the old man and the other two, "The fish has taken the bait, act according to the plan." Following that, the old man and the other two attacked even more fiercely. However, the old man was gradually unable to withstand the two of them. In helplessness, he could only take the monster Lung Shiqi and escape. A bolt of lightning flashed across the sky. Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Rua immediately shouted, "Don't go!" The two of them chased after them, leaving behind the ruins of the demon-suppressing town. Not long after, the demon beast army arrived and drove straight in. The star and moon heavenly winged tiger had a pair of wings on its back. It was shining with starlight and the shadow of the moon was heavy. He took the lead and rushed into the demon-suppressing town. In his eyes, the demon-suppressing town was already a river of blood. Only a few spirit cultivators who were lucky enough to survive were still wailing. A figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was Xie Qiue who promised to cause internal strife in the demon-suppressing town. Xie Qiue laughed and said, "What do you think, Star Moon Great Ancestor? I didn't go back on my word, did I? We took over the demon-suppressing city effortlessly." The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger smiled at first, but somehow, its heart skipped a beat. It had a bad feeling. The mixed Devil Black Sable was one step slower. When it came to the Heavenly Winged Tiger, it could not help frowning. Something was wrong, very wrong. Even if the Sky Origin Stage cultivators of the human race fought for one person, even if they could not hold back and broke through the city walls, they would not go as far as to slaughter all the spirit cultivators in the city. They clearly knew that the demonic Miasma mountain range was coveting the demon-suppressing city, yet they still did such a stupid thing, unless the 3 Heaven Origin Stage cultivators were crazy. But that was impossible. Therefore, both the Demon Sable and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger felt that something was amiss. Not long ago, they saw that the 3 Sky Origin Stage cultivators were not around. They thought it was their best chance. But now, it seemed like everything was just a coincidence. Were these really just coincidences? The Demon Sable immediately made a decision and shouted, "Retreat, quickly retreat to the demonic Miasma mountain range." The large number of demonic beasts under his command did not know what was going on. They could not wait to eat the remaining spirit cultivators. How could they be willing to retreat? All of a sudden, blinding rays of light shot out from the ground of the demon-suppressing citadel. Countless rays of light intertwined and formed an incomparably huge net, trapping all the demonic beasts within. At the same time, rolling heavenly lightning began to condense. The power of lightning was already somewhat restrained by these demonic beasts. The lightning aura that was comparable to the heavenly tribulation instantly caused many low-level demonic beasts to tremble. This was not the end. All the demonic beasts heard the roar of waves in their ears. In the air, huge waves wrapped in the water elemental energy of heaven and earth smashed down. The demon chi around the demon sable stirred. His unique demon chi covered the sky and covered the earth. With a point of his finger, the huge wave was instantly extinguished. But his face became even more gloomy. What is this? It's a formation. What a terrifying formation. Some 5th and 6th level demonic beasts that could speak human language were shocked. The demon-suppressing city had clearly turned into ruins. Where did this formation come from? The heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable immediately knew that they had been tricked. All of this was a trap. In the past 2 days, Lung Shichi had not been idle. He naturally knew the importance of the demon-suppressing city's walls. Since he had decided to set up the walls himself, of course he had to be fully prepared. Fortunately, Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo were both formation masters. In the past 2 days, they had been setting up the formation with all their might. Once it was activated, the effect would be 10 times or even 100 times stronger than the city walls. The heavenly winged tiger grabbed Xie Qiue and said with a ferocious face, "It's you. From the beginning to the end, you were the one behind this. Go to hell. Demon ancestor, I'm innocent. I'm innocent." Xie Qiue turned pale with fright and shouted with a face full of panic, I didn't know this would happen. I clearly cast a spell to turn Lu Xingji into a monster, and also caused the Sky Origin Stage cultivators to fight among themselves. I didn't know they didn't know about the formation in advance. Demon ancestor, please spare my life. Demon ancestor, please spare my life. How dare you quibble? I'll swallow you alive. The heavenly winged tiger opened its bloody mouth and was about to tear Xie Qiue apart. However, what Xie Qiue said made it hesitate. Demon ancestor, it has come to this. Even if you kill 10 of me, it won't help. The most important thing now is to find a way to return to the demonic miasma mountains. Although I'm not a 7th rank big monster, my strength is far beyond that of an ordinary 6th rank monster. I'm willing to bring up the rear for my fellow clan members. Even if I die here, it will be considered atonement. The heavenly winged tiger felt that Xie Qiue was right. Although this half-monster was abominable, its strength was indeed very strong. It could completely block several Unity of Heaven cultivators of the human clan by itself. Rather than being killed by the heavenly winged tiger, it would be better to use it to block the human cultivators. Even if it died, it would make the best use of it. Right at this moment, another grand formation appeared with a flash, and a black mass of people walked out from it. These were all experts of the 4 realms of Heaven realm. The 3 people in the lead stood in the void, announcing their identities. They were Sky Origin Stage cultivators. The old man held the thunder spear blade that shone for eternity. He sneered at Xie Qiue and the 2 7th rank big monsters. You want to murder Steward Lu with such a small trick? Ridiculous. Since you set up a trap, we'll beat you at your own game. Zhong Zhenliang said, monsters are monsters. Even if you're a 7th rank big monster, your brain is still not good enough. Do you think you're so great just because you used the formation to suppress us in the demonic miasma mountains? Today I'll show you what a real formation is. The demon sable's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. What a good show. I was careless this time. But don't be too self-righteous if you think you can win this time. Chapter 784. The last sentence made the old man and the others fearful. They were sure that there was a mysterious force behind the demonic miasma mountain range, but they didn't know how strong it was. Looking at the demon sable now, it wasn't weak. Mr. Zhou, please show yourself. Since the 3 of them showed up, we can kill them all together, the demon sable said to the air proudly. The old man and the others became nervous. Judging from the demon sable's tone, the Mr. Zhou he mentioned must be very powerful. Otherwise, the demon sable wouldn't be so confident. A difficult battle was in front of them. 1 breath passed. The old man looked around vigilantly. Lightning flashed in his eyes, but he didn't find anyone. 2 breaths passed. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger also sneered. Mr. Zhou is not someone you can discover. 5 breaths. The so-called Mr. Zhou didn't show up. The old man and the others became more and more nervous. They were afraid that the mysterious expert would hide and give them a fatal blow. But after 10 breaths, the sky was still empty. The Heavenly Winged Tiger's sneer stiffened. The demon sable's heart skipped a beat. What's going on? Where's Mr. Zhou? It was as if a cold wind blew. The scene was a bit awkward. Whoosh. The old man flicked his spear, and the divine thunder of annihilation raged endlessly. As the weather changed, an indomitable purple thunder pillar suddenly stood up. Soon after, bursts of lightning exploded from the lightning pillar. The sound of lightning clashing could be heard everywhere. It was so loud that it could pierce one's eardrums. Lan Rua's water god illusion was raised high in the air. It was as if a mysterious vase was looming. Black water surged out and turned into a black sea in an instant. It was enough to drown everything. Zhong Jinliang said disdainfully, "What, Mr. Zhou? 7th rank demon? He's being used as a spear but he doesn't know. How funny." These people were all smart. They immediately saw that the power behind the demon sable didn't dare to show up. Maybe Mr. Zhou didn't want to show up, maybe he didn't have the confidence to take down the old man and the others, or maybe he was afraid of the Thunder Yen dynasty. Anyway, he didn't make a move. The reason why the demonic Miasma mountain range dared to infuriate the Thunderblaze dynasty was because they considered Mr. Zhou as their backer. Otherwise, they wouldn't have dared to attack the demon-suppressing city. Unfortunately, they were tricked by Leng Shiqi and Mr. Zhou twice in one day. He had been tricked. The demon chi of mixed devil surged up and condensed into the shadow of an ancient demon lord. Stars were spinning around the heavenly winged tiger, and the demon moon was hanging high in the sky. The two 7th-rank demons seemed to be going all out. It was 2 against 3 and they were in the enemy's formation. If they didn't go all out, they might really die here today. Xie Qiue, who was also the Leng Shiqi, had already activated his wild, desolate evil demon blood beast body. He stood not far behind the demon sable and the star and moon heavenly winged tiger, as if he was about to welcome the attack of the spirit cultivator. At this moment, Gu Hutong's voice entered his ears. "Head Steward Liu, should I make a move?" Gu Hutong was hiding in the dark. He was one of the trump cards of the Leng Shiqi. Previously, no one in the demonic Miasma mountain range knew that he had come to the demon-suppressing city. If he suddenly made a move during the battle, it was enough to deal a fatal blow to the 2 demons. However, Leng Shiqi said, "General Gu, you don't have to make a move." What he was afraid of now was not the demon sable and the star and moon heavenly winged tiger, but the Mr. Zhou that they had mentioned just now. Since Mr. Zhou did not appear, Gu Hutong could not appear either. Otherwise, his trump card would be exposed to the enemy in advance, which would only be bad. It was not difficult to destroy the rebellion in the demonic Miasma mountain range. The real difficulty was to get rid of the mastermind behind it. Although it was difficult for the 3 of them to kill the demon sable and the star and moon heavenly winged tiger, as long as they could kill one this time, the demonic Miasma mountain range would collapse. The only thing left was for the demon-suppressing city to counterattack the demonic Miasma mountain range. Therefore, not only Gu Hutong but also himself could not be exposed. In the sky, the battle between the 3 sky origin stage cultivators and the 2 rank 7 demons had already begun. However, in order to not affect their own people, they flew directly to the 9th heaven so Leng Shiqi could not see the specific situation. However, from the constantly changing sky and earth, the intensity of the battle was much stronger than the previous internal battle. That was the battlefield between the strong, and the battlefield below was even more tragic. Other than the 2 rank 7 demons, there were more than a dozen rank 6 demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range. There were many rank 4 and rank 5 demons. As for the low-level demons, there were simply too many to count. The demon-suppressing city spirit cultivators of the 4 realms of heaven were barely equal. After all, Leng Shiqi had brought many experts over, but there were still thousands of low-level demons, which was also a huge problem. As the saying goes, ants can kill an elephant. Moreover, the low-level demons were all thick-skinned and could pose a huge threat to the spirit cultivators. A few rank 6 demons in the demonic Miasma mountain range were overjoyed. "Ha, children, they are few in number, we can bite them to death. Kill." All the demons rushed towards the spirit cultivators like hungry tigers pouncing on sheep. More than 10 people immediately walked out from the crowd. All of them were great experts of the unity of heaven realm. The strange thing was, there was one person sitting in the middle of them. It was an old man with 1 foot in the grave, but his eyes were filled with a cold light. This person was City Lord Qi of the demon-suppressing city. Back then, when Leng Shiqi proposed to self-destruct the demon-suppressing city, City Lord Qi did not agree to it. In the end, he did not have a better idea, so he agreed. City Lord Qi had guarded the demon-suppressing city for decades, and hated the demon beasts to the bones. He used a very soft but cold voice to say, borrowing the words of the old mixed demon sable, "Don't be too self-righteous." Just as he finished speaking, he heard a buzzing sound, and several colorful transmission arrays suddenly appeared. Following that, a dense group of spirit cultivators walked out from within. These spirit cultivators were all wearing armor, their footsteps were neat and tidy, their fighting spirits soaring to the sky. Large flags fluttered in the wind with the words "Scarlet Thunder Army." This was one of the strongest armies of the Thunderfire dynasty, the Scarlet Thunder Army. Behind the Scarlet Thunder Army, there were also a large number of spirit cultivators, and these people were the demon hunters who used to live in the demon-suppressing city. They did not escape but chose to stay and hunt the demon hunters. Tens of thousands of spirit cultivators appeared out of thin air and surrounded all the demon beasts. All the demon beasts that had gained intelligence finally understood what despair was. Previous chapter, next chapter, boom. At this time, a monster that was neither human nor demon punched a spirit cultivator who was at the Unity of Heaven realm, and shouted, "I am Xie. Even if I die here today, I will drag a few humans down with me for the demon miasma mountain range." Before he could finish his sentence, a total of 6 Unity of Heaven realm cultivators surrounded him, but Xie was not afraid. This action immediately provoked all the demon beasts, and the rank 6 demon beasts in the lead roared towards the sky. For the demon miasma mountain range, kill. A great battle between humans and demons had begun. Chapter 785. Blood. Human blood, demon blood, blood chi filled the air. Broken limbs, broken arms, demon heads all over the place. The battle between humans and demons was beyond anyone's imagination. The spirit cultivators of the demon-suppressing town thought that they could win, but the crazy demon beasts were extremely terrifying. Even if they were cut into 2, they could still bite 2 spirit cultivators to death before they died. However, the demon-suppressing town still had the absolute advantage. After 2 hours, the number of demon beasts was reduced to less than half. As the number of demon beasts decreased, the pressure on the spirit cultivators naturally decreased. As long as they fought steadily, killing all the demon beasts would not be a problem. At that time, not only would these people be able to obtain a large amount of demon beast resources, they would also be able to make great contributions. A beautiful tomorrow would be waiting for them. Of course, this was on the premise that they could live until tomorrow. The demon beasts did not give up, especially one of the demon beasts. He fought against several experts of the Unity of Heaven realm by himself, and from time to time he would support other demon beasts. The powerful strength he displayed was deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. He was Xie. Naturally, he was Lung Shiqi. In fact, when Lung Shiqi was disguised as a half-demon, he was unable to unleash his full strength. The reason why he was able to fight against several experts of the Unity of Heaven realm was because the other party went easy on him. Right now, half of the people fighting with him were his subordinates, as well as Lei Yuanwu and 2 other experts of the demon-suppressing town. These people were the upper echelons of the demon-suppressing town and knew of Lung Shiqi's plan. Therefore, even though they looked like they were in a terrible state, they were still holding back. In the eyes of the demon beasts, it was completely different. The 2 spirit demon ancestors that they relied on could not even protect themselves, and the one who stood up for them was actually a half-demon that they did not know. Although some of the demon beasts below the 7th level had awakened their intelligence, most of them were about the same as teenagers. Their thoughts were quite simple, and Lung Shiqi's position in their hearts was actually higher than that of the 7th level demon beasts. Bang! Lung Shiqi used his 4 arms to force the few of them back. He roared, "Break out, I'll cover your backs." Now there were only 7 or 8 6th-ranked demonic beasts left. They knew that if they continued to fight they would definitely die. The only way to survive now was to attack a weak point in the formation with all their strength and return to the demonic miasma mountain range. Coincidentally, at this moment, a bolt of divine lightning suddenly fell from the 9 heavens. With a loud bang, a large number of demon beasts died under the divine lightning. However, those 6th-order monster beasts didn't panic. Instead, they revealed looks of joy. This was because the divine lightning had coincidentally struck the array that trapped the demonic beasts, opening up a gap for them. This was an opportunity that couldn't be missed. Several rank 6 demonic beasts immediately led the rest of the demonic beasts to charge over madly. City Lord Qi sat at the back of the battlefield. He quickly ordered, "Stop them." Today not a single demonic beast is allowed to escape. Lung Shiqi's demon chi, devil chi and evil chi surged wildly behind him as he transformed into a huge evil beast. All 4 of his arms struck out at the same time, and in an instant 4 huge palms covered the sky and fell down. With one palm the wind swept away the clouds. This palm was as majestic as a mountain. With one palm raging flames soared to the sky. With one palm waves wreaked havoc. 4 palms struck out at the same time, and the elemental energy between heaven and earth was continuously compressed. The momentum was actually not much weaker than the sky origin stage. Many of the spirit cultivators were shocked. No one dared to take it head-on and could only retreat. This way it would buy a lot of time for the demonic beast. The other sixth-order demonic beasts also unleashed all of their skills. They were truly unstoppable. No matter who stood in front of them, they dared to swallow them whole. In that moment, the demonic beasts actually had the momentum to turn the tide. However, this could only be temporary. The high-level demonic beasts had unleashed all of their strength, but this kind of fighting strength would definitely not last long. If this dragged on, they would still die. Fortunately, their goal was not to fight as long as they could escape from the array. He was getting closer and closer. They were getting closer and closer to the survivor, and the desire to live in their hearts grew stronger and stronger. The spirit cultivators of the demon-suppressing city were actually frightened by the momentum of the demonic beasts, and immediately some of them moved to the sides, not daring to block the demonic beasts. Who? The first rank 6 demonic beasts rushed out of the array. Following that, a large number of demonic beasts rushed out like fish, and entered the demonic miasma mountain range at the fastest speed in their lives. Chase. City Lord Chi was so angry that he stood up. The demonic beasts could scare others, but they could not scare the experts of the unity of heaven and man realm. Immediately, more than 10 of them rushed over. Lung Shichi knew that even if these people went easy on him, he would not be able to stop them. After all, he could not use his true strength. With a thought, he activated a ball of purple demonic chi in his sea of consciousness. That was what 9 Leave had left for him before he left. Originally, he could have used it as a trump card, but his own strength had improved rapidly, so this power was not that important anymore. It was most suitable to use it at this time. A huge amount of pure demonic chi rose up. Within the demonic chi, a strange buzzing sound could be heard. Anyone who heard this sound immediately felt their head grow heavy and their feet grow light. Those with lower cultivations directly fainted on the ground as if they had lost their souls. Even the great experts of the unity of heaven and man realm were affected by it. The impact was not small, but it might not be able to truly stop them. These people immediately hugged their heads and revealed a painful expression. It's a mental attack. I didn't expect the demonic beast to have such means. Not good, he's going to escape. Lung Shichi seized this opportunity and turned into a phantom, burrowing out of the array in a few blinks of an eye and escaping. This scene made City Lord Chi stomp his feet in anger and regret. The person behind him quickly held him up and secretly transmitted a message. City Lord, the show is a little too much. After Lung Shichi escaped, the experts above the clouds continued fighting. The old man's side was 3 against 2, and with the support of the array, they suppressed the Chaos Demon Black Marten and the Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger from the beginning to the end. However, demonic beasts were demonic beasts after all. Their skin was thick and their flesh was strong. Especially the Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger, which was already covered in injuries, but it became fiercer as it fought. The injuries would only stimulate its bloodlust and bestial nature. However, the old man and the other 2 knew that it was not realistic for them to kill the 2 demonic beasts. The old man transmitted a message: it's better to break one than to injure all 10 fingers. The Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger is fast and has high defense. Use all your strength to kill the Chaos Demon Black Marten. Alright. The killing intent in the 3's hearts surged. If they could kill a 7th-ranked demonic beast in this battle, the demonic miasma mountain range would not be able to cause any more trouble. However, just as they were about to kill, the origin energy of heaven and earth suddenly throbbed. A fist prince suddenly appeared and the void instantly shattered. The violent origin energy of heaven and earth burst out for dozens of miles, and all the arrays nearby were completely destroyed. The old man and the other 2 were instantly shocked and were forced to retreat by this sudden powerful force. The Chaos Demon Black Marten and the Starry Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger's faces twitched. Mr. Zhou had made a move. Chapter 786. The 2 beasts were tricked by Mr. Zhou and hated him, but they still took the chance to escape. When the old man wanted to give chase, it was too late. The Star and Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger was too fast, none of them could catch up. What a pity, what a pity. The old man sighed. Zhong Zhenliang's voice was heavy. Even if it's a pity, at least we forced Mr. Zhou to reveal himself. His strength is indeed terrifying. I'm afraid he's already at the edge of the Tongxin realm. Lan Rua continued, we just don't know what this person's background is. The old man smiled, but today's battle was also very fruitful. The 2 beasts were heavily injured and only a few thousand beasts escaped. Even if they had a conspiracy, it won't be much of a problem. That's right. Lan Rua nodded. All of this was planned by head steward Lu. He was able to scheme against all the beasts in the Miasma mountain range. This kind of intelligence is rare. Even now, he still dares to sneak into the Miasma mountain range, disregarding his own safety. This courage is admirable. Such a wise and brave person deserves this position. No wonder His Majesty favors him so much. Zhong Zhenliang coughed dryly. Before, he was not convinced by Leng Shiqi, thinking that Leng Shiqi did not live up to his name. In just a few days, everything Leng Shiqi did was like adding blood on the tip of a knife. But not only was he fine, he even used schemes to kill 90% of the beasts. Just this point alone made Zhong Zhenliang feel ashamed of his inferiority. It's too dangerous for head steward Lu to enter the Miasma mountain range alone. Regardless of what kind of information he can gather, I think we should support him. The old man's eyes flashed. Clean up the battlefield first, rest for a day, then the army will enter the Miasma mountain range. But we can't go too deep. We have to advance 50 li a day, not only to put a lot of pressure on the Miasma mountain range, we also have to give them a chance to breathe in case they counterattack before death. Also, wait for head steward Lu's orders. On the other side, Leng Shiqi and the remaining beasts finally escaped to the Miasma mountain range. With the protection of the formation and the natural miasma, they finally had a chance to breathe. Leng Shiqi caught up and came to the side of the seriously injured sixth-order monster beasts. They immediately showed a grateful expression. However, before Leng Shiqi could say anything, an angry roar came from the sky. "Xie, how dare you come back?" It turned out that the heavenly winged tiger and the demon mink had escaped back. He was passing by and wanted to appease the remaining demonic beasts, but when he saw Leng Shiqi was also here, he was immediately furious. If it wasn't for this half-demon's idea, they wouldn't have rashly attacked demon-suppressing city. If they did not attack the demon-suppressing city, they would not have suffered so many casualties. With this battle, the demonic Miasma mountain range was basically crippled. They no longer had the qualifications to challenge the Thunderflame dynasty. Although the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Sable weren't dead, the demon-suppressing city's army would soon arrive. Unless they fled far away from the Thunderblaze dynasty, they would still die in the end. Therefore, when the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger saw Leng Shiqi, he was so angry that he wanted to smash Leng Shiqi into minced meat with his paw. However, the sixth-order demonic beasts came forward to stop him at the same time. The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger glared at them and roared, "Rebel! Are you rebelling? Demon Ancestor, please calm down. Demon Ancestor, if it wasn't for Xie Qiue who risked his life to stop the human masters, we would have been wiped out. Yes, it's all thanks to Xie Qiue that we are lucky enough to see the Demon Ancestor." The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger paused, and his face was full of surprise. He took a deep look at Leng Shiqi and hesitated. He still wanted to kill Leng Shiqi, but now they had just suffered a great defeat. If he killed Leng Shiqi in front of them, the sixth-order demonic beasts would be dissatisfied. Normally, the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger would never take these sixth-order demonic beasts seriously. Otherwise, he would not have killed the Ridgeback Venom Beast. However, at this time, the remaining sixth-order demonic beasts were the high-end combat strength that he needed. He could not ignore them anymore. The Mixed Devil Sable said, "In this case, you have made a great contribution. However, this happened because of you. Your contribution does not offset your fault. Come with us." Leng Shiqi cupped his hands and said, "Yes, Demon Ancestor. Even if you want my life today, I can give it to you at any time. Because I caused the demonic Miasma Mountains to fall into this state. I deserve to die. Cut the crap. Let's go." The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger grabbed Leng Shiqi and flew straight to the center of the demonic Miasma Mountains. Leng Shiqi was carried forward by the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger. He glanced around and found that the demonic beast's breath was in disorder. A seventh-order demonic beast's breath was in disorder. It could only mean that the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger was seriously injured. Since the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger was in such a state, the Mixed Devil Sable would not be any better. Leng Shiqi was relieved. When he entered the enclosed space for the second time, he would have to face these two seventh-order demonic beasts and Mr. Zhou. The news that the two demonic beasts could escape the old man's encirclement had been sent to Leng Shiqi by the secret method. He was finally going to see the real culprit behind the riot in the demonic Miasma Mountains. The two demonic beasts took Leng Shiqi through a layer of space into the enclosed space. Someone had set up a stone table with several cups of hot tea on it. Mr. Zhou was holding a teacup and drinking tea leisurely. Seeing this, the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger grimaced, "Mr. Zhou, Our demonic miasma mountains are almost wiped out. How can you still be in the mood to drink tea? The mixed devil sable said in an unfriendly tone. Attacking the demon-suppressing town was your final decision. Xingyue and I guessed that the demon-suppressing town was a trap. That's why we hesitated. Since you agreed to attack the demon-suppressing town, why did you leave us to die? Even if we are not as powerful as you, we don't want to be humiliated like this. Leave us to die? Mr. Zhou laughed strangely. If I leave you to die, only one of you can come back. When the three of them decided to kill the two demonic beasts, Mr. Zhou did save them. But what was this? As long as Mr. Zhou showed up, the three of them would not be a problem. They would definitely win this battle. But now, 99% of the demonic beasts in the demonic miasma mountains were dead. The two demonic beasts were dragged out with serious injuries. They could have won, but they had to lose. Was there something wrong with Mr. Zhou's brain? Not only were the two demonic beasts confused, Lung Shiqi was also very confused. According to the news from the old man, Mr. Zhou was far more powerful than them. He could even fight against three of them at once. So, if Mr. Zhou joined the battle, even with the help of Gu and Tong, they might not win. It was even more likely that they would fail. Then what was Mr. Zhou's purpose? Did he just treat the demonic miasma mountains as his plaything for fun? Lung Shiqi could not figure it out now, but he was sure that Mr. Zhou must have his own ulterior motive. Chapter 787. Why? The heavenly winged tiger gritted its teeth. Boring. Mr. Zhou shook his head and put down his teacup. Let me ask you first. Why did you agree to cooperate with me? What do you want? The two demons looked at each other. Their eyes moved, and the demon sable paused for a moment before saying, Freedom. The history of our demonic miasma mountain range can be traced back to tens of thousands of years ago. But what are we, the demonic beasts, in these tens of thousands of years? Ordinary spirit cultivators think that demonic beasts are very scary and evil. There are even many spirit cultivators who come to hunt demonic beasts. Haha, they did not expect that in the eyes of demonic beasts, humans are the most terrifying. Every year they kill countless demonic beasts to exchange for spirit stones, increase their cultivation, and then hunt even stronger demonic beasts. No matter what rank the demonic beast is, it cannot escape this fate. So what if the soul-departing scorpion successfully passed the tribulation a few years ago? In the end, it still self-destructed. What we want is nothing more than for the demonic miasma mountain range to stand on equal footing with humans. It is true that Xingyue and I were able to break through to the 7th level because of you, but we have already made it clear that we will recognize you as our master. But you did such a thing. The heavenly winged tiger said hatefully, the demonic miasma mountain range has been destroyed. If you do not give us an explanation today, even if we die here, we will bite off a piece of your flesh. The demonic aura around the two demons rose. Blood flashed in their eyes as if they were really going to fight Mr. Zhou to the death. Mr. Zhou smiled mysteriously. Who said that you can't achieve your goal? There is one thing that you are wrong about. If you want the humans to face the demonic miasma mountain range, you can't rely on those low-ranked demonic beasts. What's the use of having so many low-ranked demonic beasts? You have seen how terrifying the Scarlet Thunder Army is. As the saying goes, the survival of the fittest. The demonic beasts that came back from the demon-suppressing town today are the foundation. Only then are they qualified to be baptized by the Blood Beast Sacrificial Refinement. Blood Beast Sacrificial Refinement. Hearing this, Lung Shiqi's heart shook. Hearing this name, he immediately thought of the top sect of the Northern Wei Empire, the Blood Beast sect. This Mr. Zhou was most likely from the Blood Beast sect. He did not know if he was representing the Blood Beast sect or the Northern Wei Empire. Lung Shiqi found the goal of the demonic miasma mountain range laughable. It turned out that the demonic miasma mountain range only wanted such a simple thing. What they wanted was to exist as equals with the human race, and they no longer wanted to continue being livestock. Lung Shiqi could understand, but he could only say that the demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger were too naive. This was not because they were simple-minded. After all, the two of them had lived for hundreds of years. Even a pig would have become intelligent. Unfortunately, they were wrong from the start. The reason why the demonic miasma mountain range could exist on the continent was because the three empires had treated it like a pigsty. Yes, it was a pigsty. Every year, the demonic miasma mountain range flowed out all kinds of demonic beast materials and heaven and earth treasures, fattening countless people. There were even a large number of sect disciples who used this place as an excellent training ground. It could be said that this was a place that could benefit both the imperial court and the spirit cultivator sect. And once a Class 7 great demon was born in the demonic miasma mountain range, it would be silently dealt with. Last time, when 9 Leave advanced into a Class 7 great demon, it was the people from the Blood Beast sect and the Imperial Beast House who came. They were Sky Origin stage experts from the Northern Wei Empire who could enter the demonic miasma mountain range to collect great demons, and the Thunderblaze Empire did not make trouble for them because the other party could deal with Class 7 great demons. The threat of Class 7 great demons was too great. If it was not handled well, there might be a beast tide or even a massacre. Since there were people who came to deal with it, the Thunderblaze Empire was happy to do so. In short, the demonic miasma mountain range was a pigsty in the eyes of the 3 empires. It could be imagined that a few strong pigs in the pigsty could be on equal footing with the owner? Laughable. Naive. Ignorant. This situation was similar to the Bloodcloth Pavilion. They both wanted to break the current shackles, but the Bloodcloth Pavilion knew how to plan, so they had the Blood Seed plan that had lasted for hundreds of years. And the demonic miasma mountain range was grasped by someone who wanted to use them to cause great trouble for the Thunderblaze Empire. What made Lung Shichi a little surprised was that the Blood Beast sect, or rather the Northern Wei Empire, was behind this. Perhaps the change of imperial power in the Thunderblaze Empire was too smooth. Not only did the first Spirit Cultivator Assembly allow the new emperor to sit firmly on the throne, it also resolved the trend of the Spirit Cultivator sects joining forces. Thinking of this, Lung Shichi suddenly felt that the Spirit Cultivator sects could actually join forces. Could it be that the Northern Wei Empire or even the Starfall Empire was secretly pushing for this? The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Black Marten fell into deep thought after hearing Mr. Zhou's words. They could tell that Mr. Zhou seemed to be planning to refine the remaining demonic beasts into blood beasts. Others might not know what blood beast refining was, but the 2 of them knew very well. This was because they had become 7th-rank great demons through the blood beast sacrificial refinement. About a year ago, the mysterious Mr. Zhou came to the demonic miasma mountain range. He used his powerful cultivation of the Sky Origin stage to intimidate the demons. Then he chose the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Chaos Demon Black Marten from more than a dozen Class 6 demonic beasts to undergo blood beast refining and set his own conditions. At first, they did not believe it, but after experiencing the blood beast refining, they actually passed the heavenly tribulation with Mr. Zhou's help and advanced to Class 7 great demons. The 2 demons did not understand what was going on. At first, they also shouted that it was a miracle. Later on, they began to familiarize themselves with their own strength, and Mr. Zhou set up some arrays in the demonic miasma mountain range. He also used a strange item to open up this small space. Until half a month ago, when Mr. Zhou suddenly said that he had something important to do and would leave for a period of time, the 2 demons' strength swelled, and they could not endure the endless slaughter of spirit cultivators. Only then did they launch a beast tide which attracted Lung Shichi. And now, Mr. Zhou actually said that he wanted to refine a large number of blood beasts. That meant that in the near future, the demonic miasma mountain range would give birth to a large number of Class 6 and Class 7 great demons. With such terrifying strength, even the Thunderblaze Empire had no choice but to take it seriously. But at this time, Mr. Zhou's gaze suddenly glanced at Lung Shichi. This caused his heart to jump. The 3 in front of him could not hide so many secrets in front of him. It was definitely not because they trusted him, but because they wanted to silence him. Lung Shichi had already made 2 preparations. One was to use all his strength to fight for a breath of time, then use his destiny technique to escape. If he could not even last a breath of time, he could only temporarily hide in the underworld. However, Mr. Zhou looked at him with admiration and said, "This half-fiend is not bad. Let's not talk about whether he was seen through by the people of Demon Suppression City or not. Let's not talk about whether he's a spy from Demon Suppression City. His cultivation and strength far surpass you guys when you were at the 6th level. If this half-demon is refined by the blood beast refining, his strength in the future will probably be above you. Let's start with him." Chapter 788. The Demon Sable and the Heavenly Winged Tiger also looked at Lung Shichi with a sneer and pity in their eyes. The Demon Sable's eyes flashed even more vaguely. Lung Shichi thought that the Heavenly Winged Tiger did not plan to let him go. It was waiting for him here. From this point of view, the Heavenly Winged Tiger seemed to have predicted that Mr. Zhou would use the blood beast sacrifice on him. The 2 demons also had their own plans. Lung Shichi pretended to panic at first, but then he said resolutely, "No matter what, this defeat was caused by me. My life should have been left behind in the demon-suppressing town to be buried with my people. Fortunately, my life is still useful. Demon ancestor and Mr. Zhou, please do it." With that, he closed his eyes as if he was going to die. The two demons' expressions stiffened. They thought that Leng Shiqi would fight to the death, but they did not expect him to do this. Could it be that they had been wrong about this half-demon? "You have some backbone." Mr. Zhou clicked his tongue in amazement. "Because of this, I'll make it less painful for you." Mr. Zhou opened his hand, and the scene in the sealed space suddenly changed. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a scarlet purgatory. There were countless corpses of demon beasts in the purgatory, piled up like a mountain. In the center of the corpses, there was a strange and terrifying altar, and Mr. Zhou was suspended above it. Leng Shiqi looked around. So this space was the so-called Blood Beast altar. According to the two demons, the Blood Beast altar could allow a rank 6 demon beast to have the qualifications to advance to rank 7. And Mr. Zhou seemed to be planning to use it to cultivate more rank 7 demons. A rank 7 demon beast was comparable to the existence of the Sky Origin stage. It was even stronger than a spirit cultivator who had just entered the Sky Origin stage. However, if a demon beast wanted to advance, it was not as simple as training. It relied more on the bloodline. Most of the demon beasts' bloodlines were very inferior. From the moment they were born, their upper limit was determined. Take the demon sable for example. Under normal circumstances, he would not be able to advance in his lifetime. But not only did he have the qualifications, he also succeeded. There was also a huge danger in front of the demon beast, the heavenly tribulation. Mr. Zhou could help the demon beast to advance, which was amazing enough. He could even help the demon beast pass the heavenly tribulation. This was a little shocking. It could also be said that it was against the heavens. If Mr. Zhou could cultivate a large number of rank 7 demons, who in the world could be his opponent? Therefore, Leng Shiqi concluded that the blood beast sacrifice had an irreparable flaw, or Mr. Zhou would have dominated the Starfall continent long ago. He wanted to see just what kind of mysteries were involved in the blood beast sacrifice. With the underworld as his life-saving trump card, Leng Shiqi's courage has grown. Dragon he was also a bet. Had two zzz, and Mr. Zhou did it now did it had so he did so he was him was so, and he, sure, was to him, is he was. To avoid to avoid to avoid to the end. Go. Boom. Leng Shiqi activated the wild demonic blood beast physique and arrived at the center of the blood beast altar with a single step. Mr. Zhou looked at Leng Shiqi and said, "Your demon chi is mixed with devil chi and evil chi, which may be the reason why you're so strong. But you're a half-demon after all, and the demon beast blood in your body is not pure. Plus, the devil chi and evil chi are mixed, so your chances of success are not high." If I fail, I fail. I'll just die, Leng Shiqi said calmly. "Well, you're more courageous than these two. Let's start." Mr. Zhou ignored the two demons' ugly faces. He made a gesture with his hands, and the whole space was filled with boundless blood chi. At the same time, there seemed to be thousands of beasts roaring and shaking the space. Leng Shiqi's eyes were suddenly stained with endless scarlet. With him as the center, blood-red spells flashed one after another. After those spells appeared, something strange happened. The corpses of the demon beasts in this space grew flesh and bones, and they came back to life. No, Leng Shiqi blocked it with his divine soul and immediately found that it was just an illusion. However, there were indeed a large number of blood-red beast shadows floating out and gathering in his direction. Not long after, thousands of blood beast shadows hovered above Leng Shiqi. Mr. Zhou changed his gesture and immediately, a blood beast shadow entered Leng Shiqi's body. He suddenly felt a wild, violent and ferocious power pouring into his body. However, Leng Shiqi felt a little strange. It was not that the power was too strong and made him uncomfortable. His body was also very strong and could completely contain this power. The main reason was that this power felt a little familiar, but he couldn't remember it at the moment. Then, several blood beast shadows poured in one after another. Leng Shiqi's mind flashed and he finally remembered this feeling. That was the Beast Essence demonic technique. When he was still on Blood Mist Island, he accidentally entered an underground space and took the risk to obtain an incomplete Beast Essence demonic technique. The reason why he came to the demonic Miasma mountain range last time was because he cultivated this technique. He could refine the demon cores of demon beasts to improve his cultivation. Because of this, he accidentally met Nine Leaf. At this moment, he felt the aura of the Beast Essence demonic technique from the power that invaded his body. From this, he was sure that Mr. Zhou must be from the Blood Beast sect. As such, Lung Shiqi mobilized the Heaven Fiend 9 underworld demonic beast devouring blood record that he hadn't used for many years. This was the first cultivation method he had fused together, and it included the incomplete demonic beast origin technique. After using this technique, the power of the blood beast shadows immediately became much more docile. Lung Shiqi smoothly converted them into his own power. Seeing Lung Shiqi easily absorb several blood beast shadows, Mr. Zhou was a little surprised. Even the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Demon Mixed Demon Sable could not absorb power so quickly. He thought to himself, this half-demon is really not simple. Perhaps it won't be long before a 7th rank half-demon is born from my hands. Thinking of this, Mr. Zhou's heart surged with excitement. In the next moment, waves upon waves of blood beasts pounced towards Lung Shiqi, and Lung Shiqi took them all in. The demonic qi on his body surged crazily, and his physique grew even more ferocious. Time passed. About a day later, Mr. Zhou's forehead was covered in sweat, but he was getting more and more excited. Because Lung Shiqi had absorbed thousands of blood beast shadows so far, his aura had reached the peak of a 6th-rank demon beast. Just as he was about to cultivate an unprecedented 7th-rank half-demon beast, an accident happened. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger behind him suddenly revealed its true form. It was a huge white tiger that was dozens of feet tall and shone with the light of the stars and the moon. On the back of the white tiger was a pair of wings that were 2 to 3 feet long, with mysterious star patterns engraved on them. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger roared to the sky, and in an instant, strange phenomena appeared. In the blood-red space, there were specks of starlight and a silver moon hung high in the sky. However, both the starlight and the silver moon emitted terrifying spiritual energy fluctuations and murderous intent. The Demon Mixed Demon Sable quietly hid its body. A thick layer of demon aura surged from the ground and covered the entire space. The demon aura rolled up like waves, condensing into demon aura tentacles that slapped at Mr. Zhou. The two demons shouted at the same time, "You think we are nothing? You think the demons are ants? You deserve to die." Chapter 789. Outside the demonic Miasma Mountain Range, tens of thousands of Scarlet Thunder Army and demon hunters, as well as the city guards of the demon-suppressing city, were gathered here. The old man Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo floated in the air. Their speed was not fast because the weakest demonic beasts that escaped back to the demonic Miasma Mountain Range were at the 4th level. There were even more 5th-level demonic beasts. Most of the Scarlet Thunder Army and demon hunters were low-level spirit cultivators. These people did not have the ability to fight against high-level demonic beasts. What the old man and the others cared about the most was not the Star and Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the demon Black Marten, but Mr. Zhou behind them. Especially at this moment, everyone was deep in the demonic Miasma Mountain Range. With the miasma and array affecting them, they had to be careful. What made the old man a little worried was that after a day had passed, he had not received any news from Lung Shiqi. There were only two possibilities. Either Lung Shiqi was beside the two demonic beasts and did not have the chance to send any news, or he had already met with an accident. The old man was leaning towards the first possibility, but he was still a little worried. He did not have a deep relationship with Lung Shiqi. Perhaps it was because of benefits that he got close to Lung Shiqi and pulled him into the elite hall. However, after spending some time together, he had long recognized Lung Shiqi. Whether it was talent, strength, or conduct, they were all to the old man's liking. Furthermore, Lung Shiqi was a popular person in front of His Majesty. If something really happened, the old man and the others would not be able to escape punishment. Other than the old man, there was another person in the crowd who was even more worried about Lung Shiqi's safety. This person was Delta Origi. Delta Origi's purpose in coming to the demonic Miasma Mountain Range this time was purely to leave the imperial capital to hide, and did not think of achieving anything. In the short few days in the demon-suppressing city, facing the extremely complicated situation, Lung Shiqi was able to find a way to take the risk alone and win a great victory. This caused Delta Origi's heart to be filled with mixed feelings. First of all, Delta Origi were prideful creatures. Back on the Blood Mist Island, her cultivation was far superior to Lung Shiqi's, but her battle prowess was not as good as Lung Shiqi's. Later on, even though Delta Origi cultivated with all her might and encountered some opportunities, and her cultivation realm was already at the top among her peers, she was still surpassed by Lung Shiqi. And now Lung Shiqi had pulled ahead by an entire realm. Unknowingly, all the Delta Origi could see was Lung Shiqi's back. In terms of cultivation and strength, she believed that she would never be able to catch up to Leng Shiqi in this lifetime. In the past 2 days, she had once again witnessed Leng Shiqi's ability to solve most of the problems in the demonic miasma mountain range in a very short period of time. This ability was even more astonishing. In other words, Leng Shiqi was becoming more and more outstanding, more and more powerful, and had the confidence to stand on this side of the world. He could even scold experts of the Sky Origin stage without hesitation. But what about Delta Origi herself? Ever since she entered the headquarters of the Discipline Commission, she had spent most of her time in closed-door cultivation. Occasionally, she would go out to carry out missions to gain experience, and the rest of her leisure time would be used to deal with some necessary connections. She had a position in the Discipline Commission, but her presence was not strong. Perhaps the people who paid the most attention to her were the young talents. Of course, those people were attracted to her beauty and talent, but compared to Leng Shiqi, these people were like the difference between heaven and earth, and she was too lazy to even look at them. Thinking of this, Delta Origi felt a little proud. However, she also thought that as Leng Shiqi's strength increased, the gap between them would slowly widen. Perhaps one day she would not even be able to see Leng Shiqi's back. This also made Delta Origi feel a sense of urgency. Delta Origi walked with the crowd with mixed feelings, but suddenly she felt a sharp pain in her heart. The pain came inexplicably, as if a piece of her heart was missing, as if she had lost something important. She suddenly exclaimed, "Leng, Lu Xingji is in danger." In the enclosed space in the center of the demonic miasma mountains, the heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable suddenly burst out and attacked Mr. Zhou with all their strength. Mr. Zhou had been controlling the blood beasts for a long time, which consumed a lot of energy, and now seemed to be the most critical moment. Otherwise he would not be so excited. But this was also the moment when Mr. Zhou's vigilance was at its weakest. The two monsters' timing was very tricky. Mr. Zhou was furious and then he sneered, "Ridiculous, you are trained by me and you want to kill your master? You are courting death." He continued to control the blood beasts with one hand, and held a dark golden machete with the other hand. The machete seemed to have a bloody cave on it which looked very evil. The machete shook slightly and a sharp aura tore the void, exuding a murderous aura. In the sky, the stars and the moon surged and smashed down majestically. On the ground, the demon sable's tentacles were like countless evil spirits from hell. Mr. Zhou's eyes flashed with disdain. When the machete slashed down, it was as if the sky was torn apart and so were all the forces of the stars and the demon chi. The two monsters' powerful attacks were so weak in front of Mr. Zhou. Mr. Zhou became more arrogant. "Not to mention that you are seriously injured. Even if you were in your best condition, you would not be able to defeat me. I wanted to keep you alive as pawns, but now it seems that I have raised two ingrates. Fine, your demon elixir and demon body are worth a lot, so it is not a loss." Judging from his tone, the two monsters' lives were already in his hands, and he could take them away at any time. Then he pointed his finger and two fist-sized blood balls appeared. The Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger and the Demon Sable's eyes suddenly shrank, as if they had seen something extremely horrible. "Haha, you didn't expect it, did you? In fact, when you were unconscious after accepting the blood beast's sacrifice, I took away a part of your natal demon blood and planted a restriction in it. Your lives are only in my hands." "Humph, demon beasts are demon beasts and you want to be on equal footing with the human race? Dream on. Now, if you are willing to kneel down and admit your mistakes, I can give you a chance to redeem yourself." Mr. Zhou thought that the two monsters might give in or beg for mercy, but they laughed at this moment. How dare they laugh when they are about to die? Mr. Zhou's heart was filled with rage, and he was ready to kill these two disobedient monsters. However, the demon sable said something that made Mr. Zhou's heart tremble. "You think we don't know that you took away our natal demon blood?" The next moment, the two monsters' bodies quickly shriveled like a deflated balloon, and the two blood balls in Mr. Zhou's hands rapidly expanded. Suddenly the two balls of blood exploded. The violent explosion stirred up the chi of heaven and earth, almost detonating the entire enclosed space. Endless demon chi burst out, causing the space to shatter, and the power was immeasurable. Chapter 790. Mr. Zhou was at the center of the explosion. He could no longer maintain his attitude of being in control. Instead he exclaimed, "You're crazy. You actually tampered with the natal demonic blood." Before his voice could be heard, it was drowned by the extreme demonic power. However, in the terrifying heat wave of demonic power, there was a strange roar of a beast. One could vaguely see the shadow of a giant beast, with a blood saber in its mouth. This was not a real spiritual weapon, but it was derived from Mr. Zhou's cultivation. It was no worse than an 8th-level Earth soldier. The blood saber turned into a blade of slaughter and slashed down. The entire space was filled with the saber. Even the heaven and earth were wailing. Lung Shiqi, who was still on the altar, was a little embarrassed. He forcibly suppressed the power that was about to go berserk in his body. If he escaped now, it would be equivalent to exposing himself. If he did not escape, he would be affected by this terrifying power. At this time, layers of blood-red light screens rose around the altar. On the light screens there were pictures of strange beasts. Lung Shiqi thought, Mr. Zhou still has the time to protect me. It seems that the two demons can't do anything to him. What is his cultivation level? After Mr. Zhou's saber, all the demonic aura was swept away. He was like a king in this space. His strength was deeply rooted in people's hearts. The space was quiet again. Looking at the heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable, the two demons had become very shriveled. All the essence and blood in their bodies had been burned out. Just now they had risked their lives to attack but still failed. However, Mr. Zhou did not have it easy either. His body shook slightly, and the strange beast shadow dissipated. His face was pale and his voice was a little unsteady. You're really capable to force me to this point? Why don't you just be my dog? Why do you have to court death? The two demons knew that they would definitely die today, but at this moment, they had no intention of begging for mercy. On the contrary, the two demons' eyes flashed with bloody light, showing their ferocity. They roared, "Demons swear not to be slaves." Then the two demons used the last of their strength to charge at the Lung Shiqi. This scene made Mr. Zhou's expression change. The Lung Shiqi was at the most critical moment of the blood beast sacrificial refining. If he succeeded, the Lung Shiqi would become his proudest work. He could not afford to lose it. The golden scimitar slashed out, splitting into hundreds of scimitar lights. Each of the scimitar lights could easily tear open the two demons' skin and flesh, leaving behind horrifying wounds. The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger and the mixed demon Black Marten did not resist at all, nor did they dodge. They allowed the saber light to cut their bodies. On the other hand, Mr. Zhou's face darkened. He had a bad feeling about the two demons' suicidal behavior. In the next moment, the two monsters roared at the sky. Immediately, two beasts left their bodies and instantly surrounded the Lung Shiqi. Demon soul. Mr. Zhou shouted in shock. You are not a real 7th-rank demon beast. How can you have a demon soul? Demon soul was a soul that would only be born when a demon beast advanced into a 7th-rank demon beast. It was somewhat similar to the divine soul of a spiritual caster in the Tianyuan realm. It could live outside the body for a period of time. Mr. Zhou knew very well that the mixed demon Black Marten and the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger had broken through by secret techniques. Although they had the power of a 7th-rank demon beast, they did not have a demon soul. But now the two demons' demon souls had left their bodies. How could he not be surprised? The two demons' demon souls immediately went into the sea of consciousness of the Lung Shiqi. When they arrived, they were first stunned. Because this was not the sea of consciousness, but a mysterious starry universe. Stars of different sizes, shining with all kinds of strange lights, were moving according to a mysterious pattern, as if they contained the truth of the great Tao. Lung Shiqi's divine soul naturally saw the two demons. He waved his hand and countless stars slowly approached. Feeling the pressure, the dark fiend Black Mink was the first to react. They weren't here to enjoy the scenery, and he hurriedly said, "Xie, we have no ill intentions towards you. On the contrary, we'll even give you an extraordinarily great fortune." Lung Shiqi narrowed his eyes and said, "I'm all ears." "There's no time to talk." The Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger hurriedly said, "Our bodies are almost destroyed and our demon souls can't hold on for long. At the last moment, we can give you all our power and make you a 6th-rank half-demon beast with the power of a 7th-rank demon beast. But you have to promise us that you will kill Mr. Zhou." At the end of the sentence, the Star Lunar Heavenly Winged Tiger's eyes were full of resentment and hatred. The mixed demon Black Marten seemed to be still worried. He added, "Don't be obsessed with the so-called blood beast sacrificial refining. This kind of secret technique against nature has a huge flaw. Take us for example. Although we are 7th-rank demons, our lifespans are rapidly decreasing. Even if we do nothing, we can only live for 1 or 2 years at most. You are a half-demon beast. Even if you succeed in your advancement, you will only live for a few months." Hearing this, Leng Shiqi thought to himself, I see. From their conversation and actions with Mr. Zhou, he could almost guess what happened. Basically, the powerful Mr. Zhou suddenly came to the demonic Miasma mountain range one day. Then he chose 2 demons among the many 6th-rank demons and used blood beasts to refine them, giving them the power of a 7th-rank demon beast. Of course, there was a price and a condition. The price was that their natal demon blood was taken by Mr. Zhou, and their lives were in the hands of others. Fortunately, the 2 demons were smart and had already tampered with their natal demon blood. The other thing was their lifespan. The lifespan of demons was much longer than that of humans. The 6th-rank 9 Leve and the mixed demon Black Martin had already lived for hundreds of years. After reaching the 7th rank, their lifespans were greatly extended. If they did not fight, they could even live for 2,000 to 3,000 years. But the 2 demons said that they only had 1 year left. It was obvious that the side effects of the blood beast sacrificial refining were endless. As for Mr. Zhou's condition, it was probably to let the 2 demons be his master and continue to use blood beasts to cultivate demons to fight against the Thunderblaze dynasty. But Mr. Zhou did not expect that the 2 demons were already prepared from the moment he appeared. If Mr. Zhou had not tricked them and caused so many demons to die in the demonic Miasma mountain range, they might not have resisted. It was Mr. Zhou who thought himself clever that made the 2 demons determined to kill him. How could it be easy to kill such an expert? The 2 demons took advantage of Mr. Zhou's poor state and used all their strength to attack him without injuring him. It was obvious that Mr. Zhou's strength was something Leng Shiqi had never seen before. Now the 2 demons actually wanted him to kill Mr. Zhou? Leng Shiqi shook his head and said, "You think too highly of me." "No." The mixed devil Sable said with certainty, "You are in the middle of the blood beast sacrificial refining. Do you know that the thousands of blood beast shadows are the souls of our race? Even though they have lost their consciousness deep in their souls, they have long wanted to tear Mr. Zhou apart. After Xingyue and I die, we will turn into remnant souls to command all the blood beasts. At that time, you can take over the blood beast sacrificial refining and refine Mr. Zhou. Moreover, don't think that he is fine. In fact, he is only strong on the outside. He has been maintaining the blood beast sacrificial refining for so long that more than half of his spiritual energy has been consumed. Just now, when he used the blood saber, he even used his trump card. Now his strength is not even half. It is not impossible to kill him. Besides, if you don't kill him, you will die in his hands sooner or later. What are you hesitating for?" The 2 demons abandoned their demon bodies and would rather destroy their demon souls to kill Mr. Zhou. It was obvious that they hated Mr. Zhou to the core. Leng Shiqi's eyes flashed and he said resolutely, "The demon race swears not to be slaves." Chapter 791. The 2 demons were overjoyed. Then they disintegrated themselves in Leng Shiqi's spiritual sea. Their demon souls turned into countless light spots and merged into his spiritual sea. In the outside world, Leng Shiqi's body suddenly underwent a huge change. Boundless demon energy rose from his body. However, within the dark demon energy, there were faint dots of starlight twinkling. In the blink of an eye, all the demon energy suddenly shrank. Leng Shiqi was now more than 10 feet tall. His original 4 arms had turned into 6. A pair of huge wings spread out from his back. Starlight swirled around them. It was very mysterious. In addition, Leng Shiqi's skin and flesh had turned dark. His body was covered with ferocious scales and spikes. Behind him, there was a slender tail that swayed gently. His entire body emitted a terrifying demon energy. It was mixed with demon energy, evil energy, and blood energy. He looked like an evil spirit that had crawled out from hell. Especially his pair of blood-red eyes, which were filled with endless killing intent. Mr. Zhou smiled and said with interest, "The 2 of them gave all their power to you. What? Do you want to kill me first? But don't forget that you are still in the blood beast altar. Your life is still in my hands. Just stay here. Now that you have the power of those 2 ingrates, the blood beast altar will definitely succeed. When you reach the 7th level, your strength will far surpass most of the Sky Origin stage cultivators. You might even be close to me. You should know what to choose. Die or gain power that you will never be able to reach in your lifetime." Leng Shiqi also smiled. He clenched his 6 arms and an unprecedented power ran through his body. The reason he agreed to the 2 demons' conditions was because of this powerful power. Mr. Zhou's blood beast altar had pushed Leng Shiqi to the peak of the union of heaven and man realm. Unfortunately, this was where he stopped. He was not a half-demon and could not advance through the blood beast altar. Now that he had the power of the two demons, even Leng Shiqi himself did not know how strong he was. However, he was sure that in terms of pure strength he was definitely not weaker than a Sky Origin stage cultivator. If the two demons could really reverse the blood beast sacrificial refinement, there was still hope for him to kill Mr. Zhou. Leng Shiqi still didn't know Mr. Zhou's true identity and purpose. In short, he was a person who deserved to be killed. It would be best if he could kill him, but if he couldn't, he could just escape to the underworld. Don't forget that there are 4 Sky Origin stage cultivators in the demonic Miasma Mountains. Once Mr. Zhou leaves the enclosed space, he will be surrounded by the 4 Sky Origin stage cultivators. Leng Shiqi clenched his fist, and the 1000 Illusion Dao sword and bloodstained Star Demon Saber appeared in his hands. The demon race is truly disappointing. Mr. Zhou sighed. What a pity. You could have been my proudest creation. He made several seals in succession, and thousands of blood beast phantoms suddenly flew out from the altar. If these phantoms all entered Leng Shiqi's body, he would immediately explode and die. However, at this moment, a strange scene occurred. The heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable suddenly appeared from the phantoms all over the sky. Then the two demons turned into fine threads and spread out. They seemed to be sending some kind of message. All the blood beast phantoms in the altar trembled slightly at the same time, and then looked at Mr. Zhou fiercely. Mr. Zhou opened his mouth and his face was full of disbelief. At this moment he couldn't control the blood beast phantoms. He suddenly made a seal, but the blood beast phantoms didn't move at all. They didn't listen to his command at all. The blood beast sacrificial refinement was a secret skill that the blood beast sect had developed for a long time. They spent hundreds of years to collect the phantoms of the blood beasts. No one knew how many demonic beasts they had killed. These demonic beasts naturally wanted to kill Mr. Zhou even in their dreams. Now that the altar was out of control, all the blood beast phantoms flew up into the sky, densely packed as if there was no end to them. Mr. Zhou was stunned. Even though he was at the peak of the Sky Origin stage, he couldn't hide his shock. He never expected the heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable to do this. Before the two demons died, they not only used their own demonic blood to weaken Mr. Zhou's power, but also passed their power to the Leng Shiqi, which greatly narrowed the gap between them. In fact, from the two demons' point of view, this wasn't the most important thing. The most important thing, which was also the biggest threat to Mr. Zhou, was the countless blood beast phantoms in the blood beast altar. Now all the blood beast phantoms covered the sky. The hatred and murderous intent soared up into the sky, and even made the demonic wind blow in the air, forming a horrible storm. One blood beast phantoms wasn't strong, but when there were enough of them, even Mr. Zhou showed a trace of fear. Tens of thousands of blood beast phantoms rushed toward Mr. Zhou crazily. Mr. Zhou was a Sky Origin stage cultivator after all. He instantly picked up his scimitar, and the blood chi and metal chi around him turned into a strange beast. This strange beast looked like it was pieced together by several demonic beasts, and it was very strange. Seeing the strange beast appear, countless blood beast phantoms rushed over even more violently. Unfortunately, they couldn't even get close to Mr. Zhou before they were melted by his powerful spiritual power. But they still swarmed over like moths to a flame. At the same time, the Leng Shiqi also moved. Ghostly chi rose up behind him, and a gloomy, terrifying, and ominous gate of hell appeared in the world. The gate of hell opened, and suddenly the sealed space swayed, and countless ghosts returned to the human world from the netherworld. The gate of hell. The Leng Shiqi stabbed out with his 1000 Illusion Dao sword, and with a shocking sword intent, a sword fairy phantom stepped out. Immediately the Leng Shiqi's spiritual power strengthened, and tens of thousands of ghosts turned into a faint green light and merged into the sword fairy phantoms. Using the heavens to control the sword, using the gods to control the sword, and using the ghosts to control the sword, the ghost god sword. At the same time, the blood-soaked demonic blade slashed down, and it split into 3 blades. The first blade had a misty color, and it slashed the physical body and the primordial spirit. The second blade was torrential with demonic flames, and its demonic power was unparalleled. The third blade shone with Buddhist light, purifying everything. The flash in the pan. A flash in the pan where the gods, demons, and Buddhas merged into one. It wasn't over yet. The 4 arms behind the Leng Shiqi's back struck out with a punch, a palm, a finger, and a seal. That punch was full of yang energy, and it had a domineering aura that could devour mountains and rivers. Leng Shiqi had comprehended a large number of cultivation techniques and spiritual techniques for a long time. He imitated the Li family's patriarch, and fused all his spiritual techniques into his strongest move. This punch was based on the domineering power, the tyrant fist. With that palm, a Vairocana image appeared behind the Lung Shichi, and the boundless Buddhist light saved all living things. The giant palm covered the sky, and it carried the power of Vajra to vanquish evil. Not only that, but a dragon's roar sounded, and a golden dragon coiled around the Vairocana image, burning everything with golden flames. The golden dragon flames merged with the Vairocana divine palm, and it was the Vairocana dragon flame palm. With a finger, endless illusions exploded. Lung Shichi integrated the illusions into his finger technique, and it was the Thousand Autumn Dream Finger. As the seal fell, all the power of heaven and earth in the surroundings was repelled. The blood-red seal led Lung Shichi's blood to burst out, and it emitted a strange rhythm. Blood summoning heaven's might seal. Lung Shichi used 6 powerful spiritual techniques at the same time, and it was after he absorbed the power of the blood beast altar and the 2 demons. He was in an unprecedentedly powerful state. Although he was still in the realm of oneness of heaven and man, the power of his attacks had faintly surpassed that of the old man, who was in the realm of Tianyuan. Mr. Zhou could no longer remain calm. His eyes widened, and there was only one emotion in them, and that was disbelief. Chapter 792. Each of Lung Shichi's moves had the power of the Sky Origin stage. Among them, the Ghost God Sword, the Ephemeral Flash, and the Vairocana Dragon Flame Palm were far beyond the limit of most Sky Origin stage cultivators. He was only a 6th-level half-demon. Even if he received the power of the Demon Mink and the Star Moon Heavenly Winged Tiger, he could not burst out with such terrifying power. What Lung Shichi was showing was clearly not the power of a demonic beast. Mr. Zhou also saw Lung Shichi's soul, which meant that Lung Shichi was not a half-demon, but a human. He had been tricked by the 2 half-demons, and now he realized that the half-demon he treated as a toy had been fooling him from the beginning. Of course, Mr. Zhou did not have the time to care about that. He had to stop Lung Shichi's storm-like attacks first. Mr. Zhou bellowed, and a layer of blood-red flames appeared around him. Within the blood-red flames, a ferocious blood-red dragon roared out with great power. He began to burn his essence blood. The blood dragon roared and met the fist power of the tyrant fist. The fist power had the power to dominate the world, but it was shattered by the blood dragon after only 2 moves. The blood dragon's power was obvious. The blood-summoning heavenly seal fell. The seal flashed in a strange rhythm. Every time it flashed, the blood dragon's body would collapse a little. The seal was formed from Lung Shichi's blood chi, and the blood garment pavilion was good at controlling blood chi and evil chi. Although Mr. Zhou's blood dragon, which was formed by burning his blood essence, was powerful, his control was far inferior to Lung Shichi's. After all, no one would deliberately burn their blood essence to cultivate such a life-threatening spiritual technique if they had nothing better to do. Mr. Zhou frowned immediately. While controlling the blood dragon, he tore off a cloth bag from his waist. The shadow of the strange beast behind him gradually solidified, and in an instant, it became a real demonic beast. In the air, the blood dragon was attracted by the blood-summoning heavenly seal. Above the 9 heavens, boundless Buddhist power suddenly appeared, and the Vairocana dragon flame palm fell. Before it got close, the Buddhist light and golden earth dragon flame had already evaporated a little of the blood dragon. With one slap, the Buddhist light was extinguished and the flames burned the sky. The blood dragon immediately let out a tragic cry and gradually collapsed in a twist. Puff. The moment the blood dragon disappeared, Mr. Zhou spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood dragon was formed by Mr. Zhou's essence blood. The blood dragon's destruction naturally, Mr. Zhou suffered a lot of internal injuries. Originally, his blood dragon's power was unparalleled. It could even tear apart several layers of Lung Shichi's spiritual techniques. However, the blood dragon was first restrained by the blood seal. Then it encountered the pure gold earth dragon flame and Buddhist power, which were the bane of demons. The golden earth dragon flame palm and the Shichi flame palm, the blood dragon was easily destroyed. Not only the blood dragon, the blood beast's flame Shichi flame was, but it also the heavenly flame was black smoke. Black Shichi chi. Mr. Zhou forced himself to suppress the shock in his heart. He held the machete in his hand and slashed down fiercely. His whole body instantly turned into a giant blade and slashed the Lung Shichi's golden earth dragon flame palm. The machete did not lose its momentum and met the demon god's sword. The machete and the sword collided and a huge wave burst out. With the machete and the sword as the center, the ground within dozens of miles was directly shattered and sunk several feet deep. However, the result of the clash between the machete and the sword was that they were evenly matched. This was not what Mr. Zhou wanted to see. He thought that the machete could at least break 3 of the Leng Shiqi's spiritual techniques, but it only broke the blood-summoning heavenly seal and the demon god sword. Although he could not use too much of his strength, he was a powerhouse at the peak of the Sky Origin stage after all. The machete with all his strength did not achieve the result he wanted. This could only mean that the Leng Shiqi's power was once again beyond his imagination. The strange beast opened its bloody mouth, and a glaring blood-red machete suddenly appeared. The whole space was filled with the sound of the machete, and the machete was filled with the intention to kill. The blood-red machete was instantly slashed out, and it slashed towards the demon god's triad. This time there was not much of a movement. The blood-red light flashed in the sky, and the 3 machete lights were instantly shattered. The blood-red machete lights even reached the Leng Shiqi at an incredible speed. Leng Shiqi's face was expressionless. The Vairocana form behind him suddenly shrank back into his body. His body was full of Buddha's light and he was extremely majestic, just like a real Buddha. His ferocious demonic body was now stained with the light of Vajra, and he looked both holy and evil. The Vajra unbreakable divine art. However, Leng Shiqi did not use the Vajra unbreakable divine art to resist the attack. He moved his feet slightly, and his figure appeared a few miles away like a ghost. This was the Qian Kuan underground technique that he could only use with the power of the earth. In terms of speed, it was definitely not inferior to a spiritual technique of the 8th level. Boom! The blood-red machete slashed the ground where Leng Shiqi had been. With a loud bang, a huge and bottomless machete mark appeared on the ground. Mr. Zhou's pupils shrank. Not only did Leng Shiqi master all kinds of powerful spiritual techniques, but he also had such a strange movement technique. How was he supposed to fight him? At this moment, an invisible blade suddenly broke into Mr. Zhou's mind. This was the blade of the primordial spirit of the triad. Ah! Mr. Zhou suddenly felt a splitting headache and he immediately screamed. At this moment, the dream of 1,000 autumn fingers split into dozens of illusions, and in the blink of an eye, Mr. Zhou was dragged into the illusions. Mr. Zhou's eyes showed a hint of absent-mindedness. The strange beast behind him roared and wanted to protect him, but it was not enough. It charged straight at Leng Shiqi. However, countless blood beast phantoms blocked in front of it. The strange beast also had the strength of a 7th-level demon. It could tear apart the blood beast phantoms with a wave of its hand. However, all the blood beast phantoms were not afraid of death, and they charged forward one after another. Leng Shiqi knew that this opportunity would not come again. At the same time he formed 4 seals. In an instant, the fire phoenix's cry burned the sky and destroyed the world. The water dragon's roar swallowed everything. The wind tiger's roar shook heaven and earth. The black tortoise's descent suppressed everything. The innate 4 symbols filled the heaven and earth like a Dharma world. Leng Shiqi put his 4 arms together and the power of the 4 symbols suddenly fused together to form a formation diagram that connected the heaven and earth. Streams of power of law that went straight to the origin spread out from it. The 4 spirits array diagram. In the time that Leng Shiqi formed the 4 spirits array diagram, Mr. Zhou had already broken free from the illusions and woke up. Facing the 4 spirits array diagram that was filled with the power of the laws of nature, Mr. Zhou's heart was already in turmoil. Every time Leng Shiqi attacked, it would greatly exceed his expectations. He never dreamed that Leng Shiqi would be able to touch the power of the laws of nature that he had always dreamed of. At this moment, Mr. Zhou also felt that his life was in danger. He hurriedly formed a seal with his hands. Suddenly, the strange beast that was still trembling with the blood beast phantom stiffened. Then the strange beast turned into a scarlet stripe of blood and merged with Mr. Zhou's body. Mr. Zhou's body mutated again and again. In an instant he became a half-demon like Leng Shiqi. His aura suddenly increased. Holding the scimitar in his hand, a shocking saber intent rushed into the sky. At this moment Mr. Zhou had merged himself with the saber intent, the strange beast and the heaven and earth. He used himself as a saber, the blood beast as a saber, and the heaven and earth as a saber. With one slash, everything was extinguished. He did not comprehend the power of the laws of nature, but this slash could even cut through the laws of nature. The 4 spirits array diagram slowly fell. The mysterious power of the laws of nature spread. This four spirits array diagram that had never failed was cut in half by this slash. Chapter 793. The old man, Zhong Jinliang, Lan Rua and Delta Orgi had already arrived at the center of the demonic miasma mountains. Here they could only feel waves of powerful spiritual energy, but they couldn't find anyone. Because Leng Shiqi and Mr. Zhou were fighting in a sealed space, even if there was energy leaking out, the old man and the others couldn't get in. They didn't know what was going on inside, but they were worried about Leng Shiqi's safety. The old man said, "There's another layer of space hidden here, but the fact that the energy fluctuations can be transmitted so clearly shows that this space isn't very tough." Delta Orgi asked, "Seniors, is there any way to find the entrance?" Her voice was full of anxiety. On the way here, she secretly contacted Leng Shiqi with the Netherlamp illusion, but she didn't get any response. Zhong Jinliang and Lan Rua looked at each other and said, "There is a way, but this space is much weaker than normal secret realms. I'm afraid it can't even compare to the small chaos paradise. If we attack a weak point with our full strength, we might be able to tear a hole." But he paused and Lan Rua continued, "But there's still the star and moon heavenly winged tiger and the demon sable in there, as well as the mysterious and powerful Mr. Zhou. If we use too much energy to open the space, it will affect the upcoming battle. The best way is to set up a formation first. It can increase our strength and make it easier to open the space, and it can also counteract the formation in the demonic miasma mountains so we won't be restricted in the battle. But it takes time to set up a formation." Time. What they couldn't wait for was time. Every second he delayed meant that Leng Shiqi could lose his life at any moment. Delta Orgi's heart was in her throat, and she felt a heavy sense of defeat. "I can't help at all." She deeply felt that she was so useless. She couldn't even get involved in a battle of the sky origin stage. Power, she had never wanted power as much as she did now. Delta Orgi clenched her fists so tightly that she didn't even notice the blood flowing out. The old man's eyes turned as if he saw something, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he signaled Zhong Jinliang and Lan Rua to set up the formation. Inside the sealed space, the battle was still going on. Leng Shiqi's four spirits formation was broken. And it was broken in a very rough way. Leng Shiqi was extremely shocked. He was not shocked because the four spirits array diagram had been broken. It was true that the four spirits array diagram contained the power of the laws of heaven and earth. It was because his cultivation was too low. Compared to Mr. Zhou, he was a whole realm lower. Moreover, Mr. Zhou was no ordinary person. His slash had already touched the boundary of the laws of heaven and earth. No, he had used heaven and earth as his saber. If Mr. Zhou were to break through to the Tongxian realm, he might even be able to cut through the laws of heaven and earth. Even if the formation is the aurora. To be able to find a flaw in the four spirits array diagram in an instant, this ability made Leng Shiqi very impressed. However, Leng Shiqi's expression didn't change. He took a deep breath and his eyes turned black and white. Pure yang and pure yin energy rose around him. The yin and yang energies intertwined. The pure yang energy rose to the sky, and the pure yin energy sank into the ground. Then, as the heavens and earth trembled, a dazzling, blazing sun suddenly fell. At the same time, the netherworld energy rose from the ground, and a netherworld ghost sun slowly rose. Two suns appeared, and the terrifying power of yin and yang exploded. Under Leng Shiqi's control, the yin and yang suns collided. Then, countless terrifying yin and yang ripples spread out. Everything in the sky and on the ground disappeared, leaving only black and white. The sealed space suddenly shook as if it was the end of the world. All the power, including the elemental power, heaven and earth energy, and even the power of the laws were repelled. Yin-yang brilliance. Leng Shiqi's greatest gain in the heavenly tomb wasn't the increase in his cultivation, nor was it finding a way to quickly increase his cultivation. Instead, it was the stronger yin and yang energy which was the advanced spiritual technique of the great void swimming dragon yin-yang brilliance. Yin and yang were destroyed, the five elements were reversed, the altar was shattered and the space collapsed. Mr. Zhou was dumbfounded. Looking at the sealed space that was about to collapse, his eyes were filled with disbelief. He knew very well that one had to be at the Tongxian realm to break through this space with brute force. The person in front of him actually had such terrifying power? At this moment he seemed to have seen the figure of death. No! Mr. Zhou roared in despair. He couldn't die like this. He stretched out a finger and pointed at the space between his eyebrows. Immediately, a blood-red mark appeared. Tens of thousands of miles away, the blood beast sect suddenly soared into the sky with a bloody light. An ancient strange beast had awakened. It murmured in a low voice, and a mysterious force instantly crossed space and descended on Mr. Zhou. Buzz! The space behind Mr. Zhou twisted, and a pair of beast arms reached out to protect Mr. Zhou. At the same time, Mr. Zhou formed a seal, and the countless corpses of the beasts on the altar also gathered like a tide. It was also at this moment that the power of the yin-yang brilliance exploded. There was no powerful roar, nor was there any heart-palpitating waves. Wherever the yin and yang ripples went, the sealed space was instantly cut into countless cracks. They could even see the demonic miasma mountain range. Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo, who were setting up the array outside, paused. The old man's expression changed greatly. He grabbed Delta Origi and flew into the sky, shouting, "Retreat!" Lan Ruo and Zhong Zhenliang immediately gave up on the array that was about to form, and turned into two rays of light and flew far away. Just as they flew away, the endless yin and yang energy finally broke through the sealed space and exploded in the center of the demonic miasma mountain range. In the blink of an eye, everything within 1,000 miles was destroyed, leaving behind a large empty space. The old man and Delta Origi were stunned. What kind of power was this? What kind of person could control such terrifying power? The old man held the thunder spear in his hand and looked down vigilantly. So did Zhong Zhenliang and Lan Ruo. In this demonic miasma mountain range, there was no other heavenly Yuan realm cultivator who belonged to the Thunderblaze dynasty other than them. The person who could cause this scene could only be an enemy. They never thought that this was all caused by the Lung Shiqi. Under the yin-yang brilliance, the extreme yin and yang energy had blocked all their vision and senses, so they didn't know that the Lung Shiqi was below. Chapter 794. What surprised Lung Shiqi the most was that Mr. Zhou was still alive. At this time, there was a small mountain of monster corpses piled up around him. They were the corpses from the blood beast altar. As for the two arms, they had already disappeared. Although the blood beast phantom was no longer under his control, the monster beast corpses could still be used. He had used some kind of secret technique to summon the ancient strange beast to protect himself and gather all the monster beast corpses to save his life. However, Mr. Zhou's meridians were completely damaged at this moment. He was bathed in blood, and his spiritual power was almost exhausted. He was already an arrow at the end of its flight. How could he have thought that he would be forced to this extent by a mere junior? Lung Shiqi's situation was also very bad. The great void yin-yang brilliance had almost drained all his strength. What was even more uncomfortable was that this move was not something he could withstand at his current realm. Now, his spiritual sea was on the verge of collapse, and his soul was weak and listless. Now, it was extremely difficult for him to even move his body. However, with a light hook of his finger, hundreds of netherworld souls immediately flew out of the gates of hell and entered his body. He immediately felt that the spiritual power in his body had been replenished. As the lord of the underworld, he could naturally sacrifice his soul to absorb some power. Immediately after, his eyes lit up with 9 colors, and his spiritual sea was overdrawn by his eyes. He endured the intense headache, and 6 incomparably large and mysterious vortexes appeared in the gate of the underworld. That was the 6 paths of reincarnation. Then, a strange force instantly pulled Mr. Zhou's consciousness into the 6 paths of reincarnation. The 6 paths of reincarnation realm. Mr. Zhou's eyes lost their light and became very empty. At this time he was as weak as an ordinary person. This was the best time to kill Mr. Zhou. Unfortunately, Lung Shiqi did not know that the old man and the Delta Origi were nearby. In his current state, he had to maintain the 6 paths of reincarnation realm with all his strength. He had no spare energy to kill Mr. Zhou. He thought to himself that it would be great if someone else could help at this time. Thinking of this, Lung Shiqi's mind flashed. He did have a helper. With a thought, 8 ghostly shadows walked out of the mansion of the dead. The person in the lead held a spiritual sword, and his entire body was surging with majestic sword intent. His aura was actually close to that of a great expert in the realm of unity of heaven and man. As for the 7 ghost shadows behind him, they were not weaker than Gang Spirit Realm. These were the 8 ghost slaves under Lung Shiqi. Their leader was naturally the 1000 Illusion Sword Master, who was also the current Sword Demon. Needless to say, Sword Demon thrust his sword forward, and the eerie Hell's blade rose from the ground, instantly slicing Mr. Zhou into countless pieces. A top-level Sky Origin stage cultivator was killed by Lung Shiqi. The passive skill Hell's Curse was activated and absorbed a strand of Mr. Zhou's soul. At the same time, the Mansion of the Dead also absorbed his soul. The remnant soul at the peak of Sky Origin stage immediately nourished Leng Shiqi's body and Sea of Consciousness. In the blink of an eye, his Sea of Consciousness was stabilized and showed signs of recovery. Next, he just needed to slowly nourish it for a while. However, even so, Leng Shiqi's state of exhaustion could not be changed. From the time he used the Yin-Yang Brilliance and the 6 paths of reincarnation to break the closed space to killing Mr. Zhou, it was only a split second. He was afraid of attracting the remaining evil beasts in the demonic Miasma Mountains, so he had no time to think about anything else and directly teleported Mr. Zhou's body into the Mansion of the Dead. When everything calmed down, the Delta Origi and the sky were all stunned. At this time, the center of the demonic Miasma Mountains, including a part of the inner area, had been turned into nothingness. The mountains, the rocks, the trees, everything was gone, leaving only a deep pit that was too horrible to look at. The old man looked dignified and said, "Did you all feel it? It can't be wrong, it's the aura of the laws of heaven and earth, and it's the extremely rare law of yin and yang." Zhong Zhenliang's face was full of surprise. Obviously he could not believe what he saw. Lan Ruo looked around and was extremely vigilant. What happened in that space? Where are the mixed demon sable and the heavenly winged tiger? Where is Mr. Zhou? Is there a Tongxian realm powerhouse hiding here? However, no one could answer her question because they could not sense any aura other than the 4 of them. What about the heavenly winged tiger and the mixed demon sable? Where is Mr. Zhou? Where is Leng Shiqi? The 4 of them were puzzled, but they were not the only ones who were puzzled and shocked. Northern Wei Empire Blood Beast Sect. At this time, all the spirit cultivators in the sect were alarmed by the strange beast phantom that appeared not long ago. From the sect leader and elders to the ordinary disciples, they all looked up to the sky. Especially the upper echelons of the Blood Beast sect, they all rushed to the secret place deep underground. Shockingly, this place was also an altar. Different from the Blood Beast altar, this altar did not have thousands of demon beast corpses, only a strange demon beast that was hundreds of feet in size. This was clearly the strange beast that Mr. Zhou had summoned before his death. At this time, the sect leader of the Blood Beast sect, Blood Beast Lion King Situ Huanshu's face was gloomy. He shouted in a deep voice, "Who dares to summon the power of the Beast Sovereign?" The Beast Sovereign in the altar was the foundation of the Blood Beast sect. The Blood Beast sect was famous because every disciple cultivated a Blood Beast. The Blood Beast's combat power was very strong. In most cases, the Blood Beast's combat power was stronger than that of the Blood Beast sect's disciples. However, the Blood Beast sect also had a major problem similar to the Corpse Puppet sect. That was because low-level demonic beasts were very common, especially since the Blood Beast sect was specially built in a place near the far north wastelands. There were demonic beasts everywhere, and there were plenty of low-level demonic beasts. They could be casually caught and refined into blood beasts. However, with the gradual improvement of the sect's disciples, the demon beasts they needed also had to be stronger and stronger. With the strength of the Blood Beast sect, they could also forcibly capture 3rd level and 4th level demon beasts, but 5th level and 6th level demon beasts could only be encountered in the depths of the northern wastelands. One had to know that the northern wastelands were more than 10 times more dangerous than the demonic Miasma Mountain range. There were many 7th level great demons there, and it was rumored that there were even 8th level demon venerables. If the Blood Beast sect wanted to capture high-level demon beasts, the price would be very high, so they used another method, which was to use the power of the ancient strange beast in front of them to fuse and refine several mid-level demon beasts into high-level demon beasts. The method was good, and it had also led to the prosperity of the Blood Beast sect for thousands of years, but the power of the ancient strange beast was not inexhaustible. As the Blood Beast sect used that power again and again, the ancient strange beast was slowly weakening. If this continued, it would probably die on its own. The Blood Beast sect naturally could not watch this happen, so the sect's upper echelons decided to temporarily seal the ancient strange beast and create their own cultivation method to solve the problem. Until now, the ancient strange beast had been sealed for decades, and there had been no accidents. However, for some reason, such a major change had occurred today, causing the beast venerable to lose a lot of its power. Especially its pair of arms, which were obviously much shriveled. That was why Situ Huanshu lost his composure like this. The rest of the people did not dare to breathe loudly. After a while, the person beside him said carefully, "Sect Master, the Beast Venerable has been sealed for a long time, and only 2 people know how to mobilize the power of the Beast Venerable. Other than you, Sect Master, there's only one person." The person who spoke was Xie Pingyu, whom Leng Shiqi had met in the demonic Miasma mountain range. He was also one of the culprits who forced Nine leave to self-destruct. After he said this, everyone thought of one person, but they exclaimed at the same time, "Sect Master is talking about Zhuozhou. Didn't he die long ago?" Chapter 795. Zhuozhou. This name was taboo in the Blood Beast sect. This person was also a legendary figure because he was the previous sect leader of the Blood Beast sect and also Situ Huanshu's master. However, this previous sect leader had actually done something extremely crazy, something that had once caused the Blood Beast sect to lose all face. That was, Zhuozhou had betrayed the sect. A sect leader had betrayed his own sect. This was one of the top sects in the world, one of the top 7 sects in the world. When this matter came out, the Blood Beast sect really became the joke of the world. The reason why Zhuozhou betrayed the sect was that he secretly took a large number of blood beasts for himself and secretly stole a part of the power of the venerable beast to enhance his own cultivation. After this incident, the entire sect became enemies. In the end, Zhuozhou was besieged and killed by a large number of experts of the Blood Beast sect. But now, the power of the venerable beast had been mobilized. Other than Situ Huanshu, there was only Zhuozhou. Could it be that Zhuozhou was really not dead? But there were very few people who had participated in the pursuit of Zhuozhou back then who were still alive. Situ Huanshu frowned and said, "Recently, some of our disciples have been inexplicably assassinated. This matter is troublesome enough. Now that the venerable beast has been alarmed, it's an eventful time. Go, invite the elders in the ancestral hall. We must ask them about what happened back then. Also, summon all the formation masters in the sect to use the power of the venerable beast to find the location of that person." Yes. On the other side, in the underworld, Leng Shiqi was surrounded by a large amount of black gas. Threads of black gas entered his body through his pores and were repairing his meridians and body at an astonishing speed. After about a quarter of an hour, Leng Shiqi opened his eyes and moved his hands and feet. He was finally able to move freely. His injuries would not be healed in a short time, and his spiritual power had not recovered much, but at least he could move. With a thought, Leng Shiqi found Mr. Zhou among the thousands of souls in the underworld. This time, the change in the demonic Miasma mountain range could be said to have been planned by Mr. Zhou. Although Mr. Zhou was now dead, Leng Shiqi still did not know Mr. Zhou's true purpose and intentions. If it was in the past, Leng Shiqi would find it a little troublesome, but it was different now. He pointed his finger, and the glabella of Mr. Zhou's soul lit up, as if it had gained a sliver of consciousness. However, its eyes still looked so empty. "Who are you?" Leng Shiqi asked. Mr. Zhou's soul said stiffly, "Zhuozhou." Leng Shiqi smirked. Mr. Zhou was dead, but his soul was in his hands. He could play with it as he pleased. The Leng Shiqi could even directly extract Mr. Zhou's memories, but in that case the soul would be destroyed on the spot. That was the soul of a Sky Origin stage cultivator. Maybe there were more to use. He couldn't do that to Lafite. When Leng Shiqi heard that Mr. Zhou's real name was Zhuozhou, he was not too surprised. It was just an alias and he often used it. He continued, "Tell me your true identity." "I am the previous sect leader of the Blood Beast sect. I am currently the head of the Imperial Hall of Worship in the Northern Wei Empire." Zhuozhou's words immediately caused Leng Shiqi's heart to tremble. This person really didn't stop until he was shocked to death. Even Leng Shiqi was shocked. He had once guessed from the conversation between the two demons and Zhuozhou that the other party was from the Blood Beast sect. Perhaps he was also related to the Northern Wei Empire. However, he never thought that Zhuozhou was actually the previous sect leader of the Blood Beast sect, and also the head of the Imperial Hall of Worship in the Northern Wei Empire. Any one of these two identities was enough to shake a region. However, Leng Shiqi thought about it again. The conflict between the Empire and the Spirit Cultivator sect was not unique to the Thunder Flame Empire, but the same problem faced by all 3 empires. As the former sect leader of the Blood Beast sect, how could Zhuozhou enter the Imperial Hall of Worship in the Northern Wei Empire? There must be a secret that cannot be revealed. Tell me everything you have experienced. Also, what is your real purpose in coming to the Demon Miasma mountain range? Leng Shiqi asked the answer he wanted to know the most. Next, Zhuozhou dryly explained how he used the Blood Beast sect's Beast Venerable to increase his strength and the process of betraying the sect. In fact, when he decided to betray the sect, he had already reached a consensus with the Northern Wei Empire. Zhuozhou used his strength at the peak of the Sky Origin stage as capital to get the Northern Wei Empire to help him escape the pursuit of the Blood Beast sect. In this way Zhuozhou obtained the power he wanted, and the Northern Wei Empire secretly obtained such an expert. It could be considered a win-win situation. The main reason why Zhuozhou decided to betray the sect was not simply to increase his strength, but to find another way to refine the blood beasts. That was the blood beast altar. This method required the sacrifice of a large number of blood beasts, but it could be exchanged for a rank 7 great demon. This was definitely a profitable transaction, but he knew that the upper echelons of the blood beast sect were more old-fashioned than the other. They would definitely not agree with his method. Thus, Zhuozhou, who was almost crazy in his heart, decided to betray the sect. The reason why he came to the Demon Miasma mountain range was for two reasons. One was to find a place to test the blood beast altar that he had researched. In the Falling Star continent, other than the extreme north wasteland, only the Demon Miasma mountain range had a large number of demonic beasts. There were many blood beast sect disciples in the extreme north wasteland, so Zhuozhou could only choose to come to the Demon Miasma mountain range. As for the second reason, it was because the Northern Wei Empire had secretly interfered. Originally, the Northern Wei Empire thought that there would be some turmoil when the Thunderfire Empire's imperial power changed. However, after Lei Haoyan ascended the throne, he only used the first Spirit Cultivator Assembly to stabilize the Thunderfire Empire. He even caused the Spirit Cultivator sects in the territory to fight for themselves. The Northern Wei Empire could not sit still. Taking advantage of the fact that Zhuozhou was about to come to the Demon Miasma mountain range, they let him use the demonic beast here to wantonly cause destruction. In short, the greater the shock and destruction, the better. It would be best if he could kill a few Sky Origin stage experts of the Thunderfire Empire. So that's how it is. It's really a wishful thinking. Leng Shiqi muttered. After understanding Zhuozhou's goal and all of his goals, Leng Shiqi turned him into a ghost slave. A peak Sky Origin stage expert turned into a ghost slave, directly possessing the strength of a peak Unity of Heaven and Man realm expert. This was definitely one of his greatest battle prowess. Leng Shiqi gave him a name, Beast Ghost. At this time, Leng Shiqi thought that since he had killed Zhuozhou, then one of the conditions for Underworld's upgrade had been fulfilled. He looked at Underworld's information. Underworld Territory Current Level, Rank 5. Underworld Territory Upgrade Requirements. 1. Recruit 2 Yama Kings of the 10 Halls 2/3. 2. Collect a top-notch soul 1/3. 3. 160,000 system coins. Next, he just needed to think of a way to recruit 2 talented and high cultivation members of Underworld, and he would be able to upgrade again. However, Leng Shiqi did not have anyone he was particularly confident in, so he could only take one step at a time. At this time, Ghost Qi suddenly gathered in Underworld, and the figure of a Ghost Emperor appeared. It was Yuanyang Mingyu Ghost Emperor's avatar. Chapter 796. Seeing Delta Origi's Dharma form, Leng Shiqi slapped his head. He actually forgot to inform Delta Origi. The reason why he took away Zhuozhou's body when he entered the Mansion of the Dead was because he didn't want Old Han and the others to know that Mr. Zhou was dead. This was a powerhouse at the peak of Sky Origin stage, but he died at the hands of Leng Shiqi. Even if he had 100 mouths, he wouldn't be able to explain it. Otherwise, he would definitely expose himself. It was better to leave a mystery for them to guess blindly. He would appear in another place and pretend that he didn't know anything. Then he would find out Zhuozhou's plot from the clues and take out Zhuozhou's body at the right time. It would also implicate the Northern Wei Empire. Not only would it be a great merit, it would also be a national merit. If Zhuozhou was only the previous sect leader of the Blood Beast sect, then the incident in the demonic Miasma mountain range was completely Zhuozhou's own doing. Even if Leng Shiqi killed him, it would be purely a merit. But once the Northern Wei Empire was involved, the nature of the matter would be completely different. This was a national enmity. With this merit, coupled with the operation of the Soul Doppelganger, it might be enough to achieve Leng Shiqi's goal. And no one would ever think that Zhuozhou actually died at the hands of Leng Shiqi. That was his plan. After entering the Mansion of the Dead, he first stabilized his injuries and then interrogated Zhuozhou. He really forgot to tell Delta Origi. At this time, Delta Origi saw Leng Shiqi standing in front of her. She finally breathed a sigh of relief, but she immediately looked a little angry. Leng Shiqi touched his nose and said, "The 2 demons and Mr. Zhou had an internal conflict. I intervened and they all died. They all died. Delta Origi was stunned when she heard Leng Shiqi's words. Those were 2 rank 7 demons, and a mysterious expert who was stronger than Old Han and the others. They died just like that. And they died at the hands of Leng Shiqi? Even though the Delta Origi had been through a lot, they still found it hard to accept. Delta Origi was a little confused as she asked, "Was the force that broke this space just now your doing?" Leng Shiqi did not hide it and nodded. Delta Origi's heart sank. She originally thought that the gap between her and Leng Shiqi was big enough, but now it seemed that they were no longer in the same world. Leng Shiqi changed the topic. "By the way, what's the situation outside?" The Scarlet Thunder Army and many spirit cultivators have already surrounded the participating demonic beasts. The few experts from the Imperial family's consecration hall are all watching from the outside. They thought that there were other experts here and each of them was more nervous than the other. Delta Origi said. She felt that the old man and the others would never be able to guess that all of this was Leng Shiqi's doing. Thinking of those demon beasts, Leng Shiqi pondered. Up until now, the matter of the demon miasma mountain range had basically been resolved. The reason why it was because there were still some demon beasts here. It was the demon beasts that Leng Shiqi had brought out of the encirclement. There were only a few of the strongest rank 6 demon beasts here, and they were all heavily injured. Leng Shiqi only needed to give the order to slaughter them all. However, he hesitated. First of all, he considered whether there was a need for the demon miasma mountain range to continue existing. After the battle in the demon-suppressing town, more than 90% of the demon beasts here had died. If the remaining demon beasts were to reproduce and recover to their previous scale, it would take 100 years. Moreover, the remaining demon beasts wished to eat the humans alive. They might not even live on. Perhaps they would fight to the death and drag a few humans down with them before they died. However, if he were to kill them all, Leng Shiqi would not be able to bear it. Of course, he did not sympathize with those demon beasts, but he felt that they still had some value. Leng Shiqi thought of a possibility. Then he asked the Delta Origi to lure the old man and the others away so that he could leave the underworld. Immediately after, he rushed to the location of the participating demon beasts. At this time, the remaining demonic beasts were all hiding in a remote area within the demonic miasma mountain range. Most of the demonic beasts were trembling, because they already knew that a large number of Scarlet Thunder Army S and Spirit Cultivator S were approaching. Their doom was not far away. Especially the terrifying power that came from the center of the demon miasma mountain range not long ago, it made them tremble in fear. Most of the demon beasts here had yet to awaken their intelligence. They only had some instincts and they were all crawling on the ground with their heads in their hands. Only a small number of high-level demon beasts could barely maintain their composure, but their eyes were filled with despair. At this time, Leng Shiqi appeared in the midst of the demon beasts in his half-demon form. Before he came, he had already seen the old man and the others and told them not to be in a hurry to kill these demon beasts. He had other uses for them. Xie Qiue? Where are the 2 demon ancestors? They knew that Leng Shiqi had followed the 2 demon ancestors. Now that he had returned, what about their demon ancestors? Leng Shiqi revealed a tragic expression and said, "The 2 demon ancestors. They have fallen." What? Impossible. The demon ancestors are great demons of the 7th step, how could they fall? The few rank 6 demon beasts were not willing to believe Leng Shiqi's words. They were not close to the 2 demon beasts, but with the 2 demon beasts dead, their last hope was destroyed. What awaited them was only death. Leng Shiqi shook his head and did not explain further. This is absolutely true. It was Mr. Zhou who did it, but the 2 demon ancestors killed him before they died. The most important thing now is to think about how to escape. Escape? All the demon beasts were silent. The demon miasma mountain range was already filled with spirit cultivators. The demon ancestors were already dead. As long as the spirit cultivators had a few sky origin stage cultivators, they could easily kill them all. Where else could they escape to? Seeing the despair of the demons, Leng Shiqi knew that the time had come. He said, "We still have a chance, but I don't know if you are willing." As soon as he said that, some of the high-level demon beasts looked at him. Their eyes flashed with human emotions. That was the desire to live. No human or demon would be willing to die. Not to mention a glimmer of hope. Even if there was only a glimmer of hope, they would still give it a try. Xie Qiue, what method do you have? No matter what it is, we are willing to try. Save me, I don't want to die. Including some demon beasts that had intelligence but could not speak, they were all wailing softly. Leng Shiqi smiled in his heart. This was what he wanted to see. You should also know that I'm a half-demon. I've actually grown up outside since I was young and have traveled to many places. I once obtained a small secret realm by chance. As long as I bring you into the secret realm, I will be able to sneak into the human race and escape. Chapter 797. Secret Realm. You actually have a secret realm? Quickly bring me in. Hearing about the secret realm, even if the demonic beasts had never left the demonic miasma mountain range, they knew that the secret realm was a separate space. As long as they escaped into the secret realm, they would not be caught by the spirit cultivators and would be able to escape this calamity. Thus, all the demonic beasts became excited. For example, a spirit monkey with a broken arm said, "Xie Chiue, if we want to enter the secret realm, I'm afraid there are conditions." Of course. Lung Shichi confirmed, "First of all, this secret realm is a bit special. The environment inside is very harsh, so it might not be suitable for you to survive." Hearing this, the demonic beasts disagreed. Harsh environment? Was there anything worse than the demonic miasma mountain range? One had to know that these demonic beasts were not born immune to the miasma here. At first, they were like humans, unable to withstand the miasma. It was only after generations of reproduction that they slowly adapted to the environment here. Could also be said that those who did not adapt to the environment had all died. And the secret realm that Leng Shichi was talking about was the underworld. The underworld was filled with netherworld chi, and these demonic beasts might not be able to adapt. Since the demonic beasts felt that it was nothing, he was too lazy to explain. He continued, "There is another condition. When you enter the secret realm, you will definitely consume a lot of energy. From this point of view, I will definitely suffer a huge loss. Furthermore, escaping from the demonic miasma mountain range is not that easy. It can be said that you are risking your life. Therefore, you must accept me as your master." As soon as he finished speaking, all the demonic beasts immediately fell silent. All the demonic beasts looked at the few rank 6 demonic beasts led by the spirit monkey. At this point, only they could make a decision. One of the green snakes secretly sent a sound transmission. "He wants us to recognize him as our master. What should we do?" "No, if you want us to recognize you as our master, you must be at the demonic beast clan level. Moreover, he is a mere half-demon. He was born underground and is definitely not qualified to be our master. If you don't recognize me as your master, then you will die. I don't care if you have backbone, I am willing. If you want to die, you can die by yourself." A demonic beast with a broken arm had a different idea. As soon as it mentioned death, the other demonic beasts were speechless. Finally, that spirit monkey said, "All right, I think we should acknowledge him as our master first. At the very least, we can save our lives first. Don't forget that the only reason we're still here is because of Xie Chiue. Otherwise, we would have died in Yao Suppressing City. The Xie Chiue is very strong. In the future, it is not impossible for him to break through to the 7th level of the Great Yao Realm. It is not a disgrace to us. Brother Lu Ho, I'll listen to you. If you say so." This spirit monkey, who was known as Land Monkey, seemed to have a very high status among the 6th-ranked demonic beasts. It made the decision as soon as it spoke. Lu Ho brought a few 6th-order demonic beasts and came before Lung Shichi. It bowed respectfully and said, "Greetings, master." The remaining demonic beasts all knelt on the ground. Those who could speak naturally followed suit and shouted, "Greetings, master." Those who could not speak all let out a sound of submission. "Very good." Lung Shichi smiled. With so many demonic beasts under his command, his power had skyrocketed. With a wave of his hand, boundless netherworld chi rose behind him. A tall and gloomy gate of hell rose from the ground. Such a strange and gloomy aura spread out, causing the demonic beasts to feel a chill down their spines. They actually felt the aura of death rushing towards them. What the hell is this? What is in the secret realm? Why does it look so scary? It is not easy to live in a place like this. The demonic beasts' hearts were pounding, but none of them regretted it. Because they had no way out. "Go in." Lung Shichi pointed at the gate of hell. This was also his first attempt. In the past, he had personally brought people into the underworld, and they had to be members of the underworld. After obtaining the gate of hell, he realized that the souls inside could directly come out. This meant that creatures from the outside world could also enter. Lung Shichi watched as the land monkey carefully walked into the gate of hell. The moment it entered the gate of hell, this 6th-level demonic beast that was not weak actually shuddered. However, it still managed to successfully enter. Lung Shichi's heart calmed down. Everyone hurry up. The aura when I open the secret realm is too special. I'm afraid that the humans will sense it. They will be here soon. If we are any slower, it will be too late even if we want to leave. Hearing this, the demonic beasts did not care about anything else and rushed into the underworld. There were 2 barren open spaces in the underworld. They were the Wild Dog Ridge and the Golden Chicken Mountain. Lung Shichi arranged for these demonic beasts to live in the Wild Dog Ridge. He even specially changed the name to Dark Beast Ridge. This was the demonic beasts' first time in the underworld. It was obvious that they were not used to it. Especially when the netherworld chi attached to their bodies, it worsened their injuries. Lung Shichi could only use the ability of the master of the underworld to dilute the netherworld chi around the Dark Beast Ridge as much as possible. After settling the demonic beasts, Lung Shichi clapped his hands. This trip to the demonic Miasma mountain range could be said to be fruitful. Not only did he solve the beast tied here, but he also uncovered the conspiracy of the Northern Wei Empire in one fell swoop. As for himself, he had absorbed the power of the Blood Beast Altar and the 2 7th-level demonic beasts. Not only did his cultivation soar to the peak of the unity of heaven and man realm, but his physical strength had changed even more. Now, his physical body alone was comparable to a great expert of the unity of heaven and man realm. In the world, there were very few people who could cultivate their physical body to this extent. In addition, after the battle with Zhuozhou, Lung Shichi also had a deeper understanding of his own strength. Once he digested this understanding, his strength would naturally rise to another level. The only regret was the demon bodies of the heavenly winged tiger and the mixed demon black marten. They were 7th-level demonic beast. 7th-level demonic cores, demonic skin, demonic bones, demonic blood. They were all treasures. Unfortunately, when the 2 demonic beasts fought with Zhuozhou, it was equivalent to sacrificing their demon bodies. They did not even leave behind their demonic cores and demonic souls. However, one should not be too greedy. This time he had already earned a lot. He simply packed up and was ready to return to the demonic town. When he met up with Old Han and the others again, Lung Shichi did not explain where the demonic beasts went. Old Han and the others did not ask either. Everyone had secrets. Lung Shichi's identity was not ordinary, and he had repeatedly risked his life for this matter. It was not a big deal for him to be a little selfish. The only thing they still felt was that the deaths of the 2 demonic beasts and Mr. Zhou were too strange. Lung Shichi only told them that the 2 demonic beasts and Mr. Zhou had an internal conflict, and then a mysterious expert killed Mr. Zhou. Yet another mysterious expert. The person who could kill Mr. Zhou was at least at the peak of the Sky Origin realm, or even a Tongshin realm expert. Why would he appear in the demonic Miasma mountain range? Why did he attack? What was his purpose? Old Han and the others wanted to know, but they had no way to find out. They could only wait until they returned to the imperial capital to report it. At last, the group returned to the demonic town. Lung Shichi turned around and looked around. The demonic Miasma mountains, which used to be bustling with noise and excitement, would be abandoned in the future. Chapter 798. In the following days, Lung Shichi recuperated in the demon town for a while. He was seriously injured and had to take care of his body to tame the evil beasts to open the gate of the underworld, so he had to recuperate for a few days. In addition, the demon town was almost destroyed in the last battle and was being rebuilt in full swing. It was reasonable for him to stay here for a few days. On this day, Lung Shichi was going to return to the imperial capital with the Dark Thunder Guards and the people of the Discipline Department. After the battle, only about 70% of the people he had brought with him were left. Although they had an absolute advantage in the battle in the demon town, there were too many evil beasts and they all went crazy in the end. They would rather die than to bite off an arm, so casualties were inevitable. At this time a guest came to the door. It was Zhuge Puha. Zhuge Puha was now at the 4th level of the Gang Spirit realm. He had just entered the middle stage of the Gang Spirit realm, so his cultivation speed was very fast. Greetings, Lord Liu. Zhuge Puha walked into Lung Shichi's room and cupped his hands, seeming a little reserved. Seeing this, Lung Shichi knew that Zhuge Puha had something to ask for, and it was probably related to the Star Clan. He asked directly, "Brother Zhuge, you don't have to be so polite to me before. Just say what you want to say." Zhuge Puha thought for a while and looked around. Lung Shichi smiled and waved his hands to release several inhibition formations. Zhuge Puha then said, "Brother Liu, actually I wanted to tell you about this when we were in the imperial capital. However, the outbreak of the beast tide in the demonic Miasma mountain was too sudden, so I had no time to deal with it. Now, the evil beasts in the demonic miasma mountain are gone, so it is as easy as taking something out of a pocket. Brother Zhuge, do you mean it has something to do with the demonic miasma mountain? Yes, according to the exploration of the ancestors of the Zhuge family, there are also relics of the Star clan in the demonic miasma mountain. Zhuge Puha said seriously. Relics of the Star clan. Hearing this, Leng Shichi was shocked. He had obtained a lot of high-level materials in the secret chamber of the Star clan in Ningyang County. He did not expect that there would be something left behind by the Star clan in the demonic miasma mountain range. It was impossible for Leng Shichi not to covet those things, but Leng Shichi knew that it wasn't that simple. Brother Zhuge, can you tell me more details? Hearing this, Zhuge Puha knew that Leng Shichi was moved. He said, although our ancestors found the remains of the Star tribe, there are many high-level demonic beasts in the demonic miasma mountain range. Normally, even Tianyuan stage cultivators would not dare to enter. That's why we only know the exact location of the ruins, but we don't know what's inside. According to Brother Lu's idea, this time we will still carry out the transaction. I will give you the location of the ruins, and Brother Lu will need to help the Zhuge family release a few more experts. Leng Shichi narrowed his eyes and said, Brother Zhuge, this is not the first time we've made a deal. Why don't you tell me how many masters you want to release this time? Also, we don't know what's in the ruins, so how are we going to split it? Zhuge Puha paused. Regardless of what's in the ruins, it will all belong to Brother Lu. Hearing this, Leng Shichi was not excited. Instead, he became vigilant. No matter how bad the remains of the Star tribe were, they were definitely top-notch treasures. Now that the Zhuge family did not want a single cent, they must want him to release a large number of masters. Seeing that Leng Shichi did not speak, Zhuge Puha slowly said, Brother Lu, I'll be frank. Elder Zhuge Yun hopes that Brother Lu can release 2 Tianyuan stage experts and 10 Oneness of Heaven and Men realm experts. Brother Lu, you can rest assured that these masters are only there to find the remains of the Star tribe and leave behind some backup plans. They will not easily reveal themselves to the world. Leng Shichi thought to himself, 2 Tianyuan stage experts and 10 Oneness of Heaven and Men realm experts. This is enough to support a top sect. The Zhuge family's appetite is getting bigger and bigger. He hesitated for a moment. Not to mention Zhuge Puha, Zhuge Yun must be an extremely ambitious person. What would such a person do if he had a large number of masters in his hands? Leng Shichi would definitely not believe that Zhuge Yun would simply search for the remains of the Star tribe. Moreover, the Zhuge family was in the territory of the Thunderblaze dynasty, and the Thunderblaze dynasty already belonged to Leng Shichi indirectly. Of course, he did not want the Zhuge family to cause trouble in his territory. However, he was indeed coveting the remains of the Star tribe in the demonic miasma mountain range. After thinking for a while, he said, Brother Zhuge, now that I am one of the 4 chiefs of the Dark Thunder Guards, I also bear the heavy responsibility of stabilizing the Thunderblaze dynasty. If we release a large number of masters at once, it will be very difficult for me if something goes wrong and I am implicated. Moreover, we still do not know what is in the remains. The remains have been in the demonic miasma mountain range for so long. It might have been discovered by those high-level demonic beasts. Therefore, I have a suggestion. Brother Lu, please speak. Why don't we find the remains first and decide how many masters to release after obtaining the treasures inside? If there are enough treasures, not to mention 2 Heavenly Origin Realm experts and 10 Unity of Heaven Realm experts, even if there are more, it will be a piece of cake. Leng Shichi stated his conditions. To put it simply, they would eat first and pay later. As for how much they would pay, it would depend on how big the meal was. This. Zhuge Puha looked hesitant and said, Brother Lu, I can't make a decision on this matter yet. Can you give me some time to think about it? Leng Shichi knew that Zhuge Puha wanted to go back and contact Zhuge Yun. He said casually, of course. After all, the demon-suppressing town is still being rebuilt. Just in case, I still have to stay here for a few days. In that case, I will take my leave first. Brother Zhuge, please? After sending Zhuge Puha off, Leng Shichi turned around and teleported to the mansion of the dead. He arrived at the Dark Beast Ridge and found Lu Ho and a few other rank 6 demonic beasts. Master, what's the matter? Lu Ho saw Leng Shichi suddenly appear and asked respectfully. Leng Shichi asked, Let me ask you, have you found any special places in the demonic miasma mountain range? For example, forbidden areas or relics. He reckoned that since the demonic miasma mountain range had the Star race's relics and the place had been occupied by demonic beasts for many years, he might as well ask the demonic beasts who were most familiar with this place. Lu Ho and the other demonic beasts looked at each other. Among them, a giant ape said, "Master, there were some forbidden areas in the demonic Miasma mountain range in the past. However, there were basically treasures in those forbidden areas. Later on they were all taken away by the humans. Now, it seems that there is nothing special about it." This giant ape was a long-armed crimson ape. It was extremely strong. Unfortunately, one of its arms was cut off and its combat power was greatly reduced. Previously, when Leng Shiqi said that he wanted them to recognize him as their master, this giant ape was also the most enthusiastic. "That's not right." A green snake twisted its body and said, "Have you all forgotten about the Star Moon demonic ancestor?" Chapter 799. Green Snake's words immediately reminded the few demonic beasts. Lu Monkey slapped his head and said, "I remember now, Master. About a few years ago, a mysterious place was indeed discovered. Master, you may not know that a rank 7 demonic beast, soul-leaving scorpion, was born in the demonic Miasma mountain range a few years ago. Unfortunately, 2 Sky Origin Realm cultivators wanted to capture her, and the demonic beast ancestor self-destructed. After that, a mysterious place appeared in the inner area. However, we could only look at it and sigh. Only those demonic beasts with the ability to fly could explore it because that place was in the sky. At that time, many flying demonic beasts wanted to go in, but there was something like a restriction in that place. They could not even get close to it, let alone go in. As far as we know, only the Star Moon demonic beast ancestor had approached it." Leng Shiqi raised his eyebrows. The first half of what Lu Ho said was naturally about Nine Leaf. He did not expect this matter to be related to Nine Leaf. According to what Lu Ho said, someone had actually entered that place and it was the Heavenly Winged Tiger. Actually, the original body of the Star Moon demonic beast ancestor was not the Heavenly Winged Tiger at first, but the Moon-Gazing Tiger, Lu Ho said again and then closed his mouth meaningfully. Leng Shiqi understood. He knew about the Moon-Gazing Tiger. It was a demonic beast with a mid-level bloodline. This kind of demonic beast could only reach rank 5 at most in its lifetime. According to what Lu Ho said, the Moon-Gazing Tiger seemed to have broken through to rank 6 because of that mysterious place. It evolved from the Moon-Gazing Tiger to the Heavenly Winged Tiger. After that, Zhuozhou came to the demonic Miasma mountain range and found that this demonic beast had extraordinary talent. That was why he chose it for the blood beast sacrificial refinement. Thus, the Star Moon demonic beast ancestor was born. Leng Shiqi understood all this. He guessed that it was very likely to be the Star Clan's relic that Zhuge Puha mentioned. However, he did not expect that place to be in the sky. He then asked, "What does that place look like?" "We don't have the ability to fly, but I heard from other demonic beasts that the place is like a night sky full of stars. Anyway, it is very mysterious." "Full of stars?" That was basically certain. After asking this question, Leng Shiqi said a few words and left the mansion of the dead. The next day Zhuge Puha came again. "Brother Lu, the elders have already agreed to your request. When can we go to the demonic Miasma mountain range?" "Anytime." Right now he really didn't have anything to worry about, so he quietly entered the demonic Miasma mountain range with Zhuge Pu. Currently, the demonic Miasma mountain range was very spacious and empty. It even looked a little dead. There were no longer any demonic beasts here. Ordinary small animals could not survive in the miasma. It could be said that there was no chance of survival. The speed of the two was very fast. It only took them less than half a day to reach the depths of the inner area. At this time, Zhuge Puha's brows were tightly knitted. Then he took out some strange things and arranged them into a simple array. Inside he blocked out strands of starlight. Those strands of starlight stretched out like strands of hair, but they quickly returned. Zhuge Puha exclaimed softly, "Brother Lu, according to the direction of the array, the ruins should be nearby. I guess that the ruins are most likely deep underground." In the past, Leng Shiqi might also think so. After all, last time in Ningyang County, the secret treasure was in the depths of the mineral vein. Now he already knew that the ruins were actually in the sky, but he did not say it. Instead, he went underground with Zhuge Puha to search. Of course they found nothing. Leng Shiqi pretended to doubt it, but Zhuge Puha was very sure that they had found the right place. When night fell, even though the demonic Miasma mountain range was covered by the miasma, some vague stars could still be seen. Leng Shiqi looked up and murmured, "Could the ruins be in the sky?" At first, Zhuge Puha wanted to say that it was impossible. But after thinking about it carefully, the ability of the Star Clan could not be speculated by ordinary people's thinking. Maybe the ruins were really in the sky. Lung Shichi's mind moved and a pair of starlight wings appeared on his back. This was not the wings of the Gu King, but a mutation after he obtained the power of the heavenly winged tiger. It could also be said that these were his own wings. Brother Zhuge, wait a moment. I'll go up and have a look. After saying that, he directly turned into a ray of starlight, cut through the miasma, and flew straight to the ninth heaven. The higher he flew, the thinner the surrounding miasma became. More importantly, Lung Shichi began to feel a trace of traction force. In particular, the starlight on the wings on his back shone brighter, as if there was a force attracting him. Lung Shichi raised his eyes and looked into the distance. It was currently night and the sky was filled with stars. Among the countless stars, there seemed to be a mysterious line connecting a portion of the stars. It looked like a simple building. This is it. Lung Shichi immediately activated the star bloodline in his body. The mysterious and complicated star atlas on his body suddenly spread out, and another starry universe was set up around him. Heavenly Cosmic Star Gang. At this moment, the stars in front of Lung Shichi rotated at the same time and slowly gathered together, forming a starlight gate. Lung Shichi spread his wings and flew straight into the gate without any hindrance. When he entered, he could not help but be a little dumbfounded. According to his imagination, there should be quite a number of treasures in the Star Tribe's relic. However, other than the empty space, he did not see anything. In other words, this place was empty. Could it be that someone had beaten him to it? He remembered that the heavenly winged tiger seemed to have entered this place. No, Lu Ho said that the heavenly winged tiger only got close. Where did the things go? It was a pity that the heavenly winged tiger's body and soul had been destroyed, so there was no way to find out. While Lung Shichi was puzzled, countless meteors suddenly shot out from this space and intertwined with each other, then formed a huge mysterious shadow. The shadow's appearance was roughly similar to a human's. There seemed to be countless galaxies flowing in its eyes, which were full of mystery. The pair of eyes stared at Lung Shichi, and he felt as if he was being watched by heaven and earth. Suddenly, a pressure as if the sky was collapsing suddenly pressed down on him. He immediately activated the invincible Vajra divine skill, and the stars around him flowed. At the same time, he supported the anti-gravity field and resisted the pressure. Lung Shichi began to sweat a lot. He was already seriously injured, and now he could only exert 20 to 30% of his strength at most. The mysterious shadow suddenly withdrew the pressure, and then a huge palm appeared. The huge palm suddenly clenched, and suddenly the space collapsed and the stars were destroyed. A thought suddenly appeared in Lung Shichi's mind. Picking the stars, controlling time and space, and breaking the heaven and earth. Grand Star Picking Hand. Chapter 800. Lung Shichi floated in the starry sky, and his eyes lost focus for a moment. When the great plucking star's palm touched his divine soul, his eyes regained their clarity. However, he did not expect that the treasure in this relic was not a treasure of heaven and earth, but an inheritance. The great plucking star's palm was a powerful spiritual technique created by combining the spiritual cultivation system of the stellar tribe and the human race. According to the current system, it was comparable to a level 8 spiritual technique. Even among the level 8 spiritual techniques, it was definitely the best. It was a spiritual technique that was rarely mastered even by those in the heavenly origin stage. Moreover, the great plucking star's palm required the bloodline of the stellar tribe to perform. The stronger the bloodline, the greater the power. Lung Shichi's bloodline of the stellar tribe was not weak, but he encountered a very awkward problem. It was difficult for him to perform this technique. This was because the great plucking star's palm not only consumed spiritual power and mental strength, but also greatly consumed the power of the bloodline. The power of the bloodline was a power that the stellar tribe cultivated over many years after awakening. Once the power of the bloodline was activated, the stellar tribe would gain great power. It was a powerful trump card for every stellar tribe member. However, although Lung Shichi had awakened his bloodline, he had never cultivated the power of the bloodline. When he tried the great plucking star's palm, he realized that his bloodline power was still a little bit away from performing the great plucking star's palm. Lung Shichi was a little embarrassed that he could not use such a powerful spiritual technique for the time being. It seems that I have to get the method to improve the power of the bloodline from the Zhuge family. Lung Shichi made up his mind and then looked around. Could this be the only spiritual technique in this relic? The Great Plucking Star's Palm, a level 8 spiritual technique, was rare in the world. It was a treasure that could only be found by chance. However, compared to the secret treasure in Ningyang County, it was still a little shabby. Suddenly, all the stars in this space shrank rapidly. In the blink of an eye, they were the size of a grain. Then they turned into a Milky Way that was dozens of feet long, slowly flowing around Lung Shichi. Lung Shichi looked down and saw that the mysterious star map on his body was flickering. There seemed to be some connection between the star map and the Milky Way. At the same time, the star mark in his sea of consciousness bloomed with boundless radiance, and then the Milky Way suddenly poured into his body. The next moment, a set of astral armor appeared around Lung Shichi. It was the Star God armor that he had not used for a long time. The Star God battle armor absorbed the power of the galaxy and continued to grow. After a while, a Star God phantom that was dozens of feet tall appeared behind him. Following the passage of time, the Star God image no longer grew bigger, but rather became more and more solid, and the veined patterns on its body were also filling up. In the end, even the veins on his skin and every strand of his hair were vivid and lifelike, and the face of the Star God was 80% similar to that of Lung Shichi. Cosmic form. This was actually a cosmic form. Boundless heaven and earth elemental energy swarmed over. Lung Shichi's entire body was surging with a mysterious aura. The heaven and earth yuan qi in this part of the world was like a pen and paper in his hand, which he could use at will. At this moment he could break through to the sky origin stage with only one thought. This was a realm that countless spirit cultivators could only dream of, a realm that countless unity of heaven and man cultivators could not reach in their lifetime. It turned out that other than the great star-picking hand, there was also a heaven and earth yuan qi that was completely compatible with the bloodline of the star tribe, which could help him break through to the sky origin stage. Lung Shichi was immersed in a strange state. This feeling was really hard to describe with words. It was as if he could reach out his hand and touch the sky. He could touch a part of the origin of this world. However, Lung Shichi suddenly quivered, and then made an unbelievable decision. He actually took the initiative to withdraw from this state and gave up the opportunity to break through to the sky origin stage. The Star God phantom behind him instantly became blurry again, but it did not dissipate. Instead, it shrank back to Lung Shichi's body and became a star atlas again. If someone else saw this scene, they would definitely hurl abuse at Lung Shichi. The sky origin stage was already at the peak of spirit cultivators. How many sky origin stage powerhouses could there be in the world? No matter where, the sky origin stage was the symbol of a powerhouse. It was an existence that countless people looked up to. However, Lung Shichi clearly could have used this opportunity to break through, but he took the initiative to give up. This was simply unbelievable. Lung Shichi took a few deep breaths and a complicated look appeared in his eyes. It was impossible to say that he did not want to break through to the sky origin stage and obtain a super strong power. On the contrary, he was the kind of person who thirsted for power. However, Lung Shichi was very clear that he had not completely found the path that he wanted to take. Ever since he obtained the system, the cultivation methods and spiritual skills that he had been cultivating were very heterogeneous. If he were to choose one system to break through to the sky origin stage, then there would be a huge limit to his strength in the future. For example, just now, if he had accepted the power of the stars and broken through to the sky origin stage, then he might only be able to cultivate the power of the stars in the future. Of course, other systems could also be cultivated, but without the support of the corresponding heaven and earth yuan qi, the power would be greatly reduced. On the other hand, Lung Shichi was very ambitious. He could also say that the sky origin stage was not difficult for him. What he wanted was to rely on his own understanding of the system to break through to the sky origin stage. For example, the Li family ancestor had turned everything he had learned into the 16 heaven transformations technique. Another example was Wuxia, who had turned all the heterogeneous cultivation systems into a single point, so that his casual attack was all-encompassing. Lung Shichi could use their methods to find the most suitable path for himself. Moreover, he had only broken through to the sky origin stage for a short time, so his accumulation was still insufficient. Especially when he had broken through to the sky origin stage from the middle stage to the late stage, and now to the peak stage, it had only taken him less than a month. It was really too short. If he used this opportunity to break through to the sky origin stage and left behind any hidden dangers in his cultivation, then the gains would not make up for the losses. Lung Shichi had also considered many times before giving up this opportunity. At this time, the stars in this space suddenly became dim, and cracks appeared in the surroundings. Lung Shiqi knew that the energy here had been depleted, which meant that there was nothing else here. This time the Star Tribe ruins had been very successful. He had obtained a powerful spiritual skill. Although he had given up on breaking through to the Sky Origin stage, he had also absorbed a lot of Heaven and Earth Yuan Qi, which had strengthened his foundation. Overall it was very good. Then he left this place and returned to the surface of the demonic Miasma mountain range. Zhuge Puha was about to ask, but Lung Shiqi said bluntly, "Brother Zhuge, we found the Star Tribe ruins." "That's great. I wonder what's inside?" Zhuge Puha asked with joy. Chapter 801. Lung Shiqi said, "There's a powerful spiritual technique in there. There's nothing else." The smile on Zhuge Puha's face froze. The word, disbelief, was written all over his face. Lung Shiqi frowned. "What? Brother Zhuge, you don't believe me?" No. Zhuge Puha shook his head and retracted his expression. "How can I not believe you? Trust is the foundation of our cooperation. But thinking of the conditions you mentioned before, how many of my clan's experts can be released from that spiritual technique?" Lung Shiqi thought for a moment, then said, "1 Sky Origin Cultivator and 3 Unity of Heaven." He didn't purposely make things difficult for Zhuge Puha. The great star-plucking hand alone was enough to exchange for a Sky Origin Cultivator. He gave up the Sky Origin Cultivator's power, but he still got some benefits. Besides, the Zhuge family wouldn't be able to do anything if he released 1 Sky Origin Cultivator and 3 Unity of Heaven. "Alright, let's do as Brother Lu says." This time, Zhuge Puha agreed very straightforwardly. This was somewhat out of Lung Shiqi's expectations. "My identity is a bit sensitive now, so I can't move around freely. I'll find a chance to visit the Zhuge family when I return to the imperial capital. I'll be waiting for you at any time." Zhuge Puha cupped his hands. Then the two returned to Yao Suppressing Town. The next day, everyone prepared to return to the imperial capital. In the imperial palace, Lung Shiqi's sole doppelganger, Lei Haoyan, was still reviewing memorials. He was holding the battle report from Yao Suppressing Town. Although he and Lung Shiqi were telepathically connected, they couldn't do this if they were too far apart. When he saw the contents of the report, he didn't look surprised. Instead, he muttered, "How can I get more benefits for this body?" Just as he was thinking, a young eunuch walked over. This was the new eunuch promoted by the sole doppelganger, Zuiying. The old eunuch was still there, but his health wasn't good, so he couldn't stay by his side. Zuiying walked over respectfully and said with a strange expression, "Your Majesty, Jing Fei Nyang requests an audience." Jing Fei was one of the earliest imperial concubines that had followed the eldest imperial prince Lei Haoyan. Right now, she was the most prestigious imperial concubine in the Hogong and the one most likely to sit on the throne of the empress. The position of empress was temporarily vacant because when Lei Haoyan was at his lowest, his concubines had also suffered a lot. At that time, Lei Haoyan's wife was frail and sickly. She didn't make it and passed away early. Therefore, everyone in the imperial harem was eyeing the position of empress covetously. Because of this, there were many grudges. Whenever the sole avatar thought about the harem, it would feel a headache coming on. There wasn't a single day where it could rest. However, the Hogong could never interfere in politics. The concubines of the Hogong couldn't casually come to his study. Jing Fei naturally knew the rules, but she still came. It must be something important. He put down the report in his hand and said, "Invite Jing Fei in." Zuiying took small, quick steps out to pass on the edict. However, just as he reached the door, he turned back, his expression strange. "Your Majesty, Imperial Concubine E also requests an audience." The sole avatar raised an eyebrow. Naturally, Imperial Concubine E was Mo Lu. She had just entered the palace and was conferred the title of Imperial Concubine E Lu. It was the envy of everyone. Her father, Mo Lin Hui, was the prime minister, and now the pavilion elder of 3 Yuan Pavilion. Other people could only be envious of this background. Other than Jing Fei, Mo Lu also had a few concubines that supported her ascension. Other than that, the people that had been selected from the Ling Xiu sects were also tightly huddled together. Their identities weren't ordinary, but it was a pity that none of the powers behind them were from the imperial capital. Distant water couldn't put out a nearby fire. These people had the lowest status in the Hogong, so they hugged very tightly and were able to compete with Jing Fei and Yi Fei. Speaking of this, there was a hint that the Hogong was divided into 3 parts. The ones with the most power were Jing Fei and the other elders. They had followed Lei Haoyan when he was still an imperial son. Now that they were older, they might not be able to compare to those young Gunyang in their prime, but they won in terms of status. Next were the daughters of the officials that had been selected last time. They were led by Mo Yilu, and lastly were the people from the Lingxiu sections. What was worth mentioning was that the concubines of the Lingxiu sects had very low status, and their backs weren't very visible, but their cultivation wasn't weak. They were all in the fourth realm of celestial being. With cultivation, normal little tricks were useless against them. Instead, they had to be on guard against them, afraid that they would fight to the death. Therefore, the three factions in the Hogong were fighting with each other. Now that Jing Fei and Yi Fei had come at the same time, something must have happened. Let them come in together. The Soul Avatar wanted to see what had happened. Very quickly, the elegant Jing Fei and the youthful Mo Yilu walked in together. They bowed and said, "Xie greets your majesty." No need for formalities. It's rare for you two colleagues to come. Speak, what happened? Your majesty. Jing Fei's eyes suddenly turned red and she said sorrowfully, "Xie wants to sue Yi Fei for using her power to bully others and for being arrogant. This morning she beat Xie's personal palace maid Xiao Jie to death in front of everyone. Xiao Jie might be a palace maid, but ever since Xie married your majesty she has served by Xie's side. She has gone through joys and sorrows with Xie like sisters, but she didn't want to be killed by this venomous woman. Xie begs your majesty for justice. Someone had died. A palace maid had died. It wasn't a big matter in the Hogong, but it wasn't a small matter either. Normally, the death of two palace maids wasn't a big matter. The main thing was to see if there was anyone who wanted to pursue them. Now that Jing Fei was pointing this at Yi Fei, it was a big matter. The Soul Avatar looked at Mo Yilu. Mo Yilu raised her head slightly, seeming to be stubborn. She said, "I accidentally killed her." "Ah, she admitted it. Your majesty, look, she admitted it." Jing Fei instantly started to laugh. She didn't look as pitiful as before. As an imperial concubine, she disregards human life. How can such a vicious person stay by your majesty's side? Your majesty, how about? A cold light flashed through the eyes of the Soul Avatar. He said faintly, "You are teaching Zhen how to do things?" Jing Fei's heart suddenly shuddered, and she hurriedly closed her mouth. "Do you have something to say?" the Soul Avatar asked. In his view, this matter was most likely arranged by Jing Fei, but if Mo Yilu couldn't give a reason, then she would still be punished. Mo Yilu said, "I think your majesty knows what is going on. I have nothing to say and will allow your majesty to punish me." The Soul Avatar laughed inside. This Mo Yilu didn't have any schemes and was even a bit naive. Otherwise, she wouldn't have purposefully targeted Leng Shiqi at the auction. If this kind of person didn't have Mo Lin Hui behind her, who knew how long she could survive in the Hogong? Speak of the devil, Zuiying reported with a troubled expression, "Mo Xianghua has also come." Chapter 802. Mo Lin Hui had personally come. Jing Fei had just come to complain and he had come. The news had spread so quickly. In this palace, who knew how many of his spies there were? The Soul Doppelganger silently noted down this matter. Jing Fei's expression instantly darkened. If Mo Lin Hui interfered in this matter, he probably couldn't do anything to Mo Yilu. "Your Majesty." Jing Fei had just opened her mouth when the Soul Doppelganger reached out to stop her. "Prime Minister Mo must have come for state matters. Go to the side hall and wait. Zhen will handle this impartially," the Soul Doppelganger said with authority. Jing Fei didn't dare to disobey and could only bow and leave. Before she left, she looked deeply at Mo Yilu. Mo Yilu also stood and said, "I didn't do it on purpose." After the two women left, Mo Lin Hui quickly walked over. "Your Majesty, regarding Yi Fei, this old subject has something to say." The Soul Doppelganger shook his head and said, "Beloved official Mo, there's no need to say more. Jin knows what happened to Yi Fei." "No? What did he know?" Mo Lin Hui was still trying to figure out His Majesty's intentions when the Soul Doppelganger continued, "There is something strange about this matter. Zhen doesn't believe that there isn't a ghost. Therefore, Zhen has decided to deduct 3 months of Yi Fei's allowance as a warning. What does beloved official Mo think?" The matter of an imperial concubine beating a palace maid to death had been reported to the emperor. If it was an imperial concubine without any background, it was possible that she would be crippled after a fight. But when it came to Mo Yilu, it was only 3 months of allowance. This was practically no punishment at all. Did the daughter of the Prime Minister lack that bit of allowance? Mo Lin Hui understood. This was His Majesty giving him face, and it was done so cleanly that he didn't even have to use the speech he had prepared. He bowed and said, "My daughter is stubborn and doesn't know the rules. She has caused trouble for His Majesty, but His Majesty is magnanimous and does not pursue this matter. This old subject will naturally repay with his life. Since the Emperor has given you so much face, you have to show some sincerity." The soul doppelganger smiled. "Beloved official Mo cannot die. Zhen is still counting on you to help Zhen expand the borders and achieve great feats. Right, you should have received this report as well." As he spoke, his soul clone took out the information regarding the demonic miasma mountain range. This old subject has also just found out about the great victory in the demonic miasma mountain range. This is truly a matter of great celebration. That head steward Lu not only solved the problem in the demonic miasma mountain range, he even found the head steward of the Northern Wei Empire's consecration hall. This is truly a miraculous achievement. Not bad, it's an amazing technique. The soul avatar stood up and said, "Then what does Minister Mo think we should give him as a reward?" Mo Lin Hui pondered as he slowly said, "Steward Lu just received a large amount of rewards from the world's first spirit cultivator assembly half a month ago. Not only did he have the authority to act as the great commander of the Dark Thunder Guards, he was also conferred the title of Jinling Duke. Only half a month has passed, and head steward Lu has made such a great contribution. Logically speaking, he should be greatly rewarded. However, if he is given too much of a reward, this old official is afraid that there will be other voices in the court. Especially since head steward Lu is too young and inexperienced. The tallest tree in the forest will be destroyed by the wind." His words were rather vague. To put it bluntly, it was inappropriate to give out a large reward in a short period of time. Otherwise, it would easily cause dissatisfaction. Even if Lung Shiqi had made a genuine contribution, continuous rewards would still make people jealous, and even secretly hate him. Beloved official Mo is right, but head steward Lu has risked his life to obtain such a great victory. If his reward is mediocre, it would be unjustifiable. At this moment, Mo Linhui's expression suddenly became a bit gloomy. He said in a low voice, "This old official has something to say, but I don't know if I should say it." Beloved official Mo, there is no harm in saying it. The soul doppelganger saw Mo Linhui's expression and roughly guessed what he wanted to say. Mo Linhui's eyes flashed and he said, "Your Majesty, Lu Xingji has grown too quickly. 2 years ago he was still a small supervisor in the Western Desolate Province, but now he is about to take over the Dark Thunder Guards. Regardless of whether it is his influence or strength, they are both increasing at a monstrous speed. Your Majesty has only ascended the throne for a short period of time. Previously there was the first Spirit Cultivator Conference and now, there is the calming of the demonic miasma mountain range. With his ability, his contributions in the future will not be small. Your Majesty, have you ever thought of a question? Now that Lu Xingji holds great power in the court, what can you give him in the future? Is it the position of commander of the Dark Thunder Guards, or the title of king? And after that? What else can you give him? Your Majesty, you must be careful that your achievements overshadow your master." The more Mo Linhui spoke, the lower his voice became, but the words that came out of his mouth were a bit harsh. If the soul doppelganger was an ordinary emperor, he would have no resistance in front of these words. He would more or less be wary and suspicious of Lung Shiqi. The soul doppelganger was silent for a moment before saying, "Then what does beloved official Mo think we should give this time? This is naturally up to your Majesty to decide." This old official only has one thing to say, and that is to try not to give him too much power. We understand. How about this? The soul doppelganger spoke his thoughts. Hearing this, Mo Linhui's eyes kept flickering and he showed hesitation. The soul doppelganger could tell that Mo Linhui felt that the reward was a bit inappropriate. He glanced in the direction of the side hall and said, "Head steward Lu has not returned to the imperial capital yet, so this matter is not urgent. How about we discuss it another day? Beloved official Mo, you can go back first. We still have some family matters to take care of." When the words family matters were mentioned, Mo Linhui's heart trembled. A trace of understanding flashed through the depths of his eyes. So this was what His Majesty was waiting for. However, he did not understand. He had clearly said it very clearly just now, so why did His Majesty still want to do this? However, Mo Linhui still raised his head and looked straight at the soul doppelganger. "Your Majesty, this old official feels that Your Majesty's decision is the most reliable. Although there may be some people in the court who are not satisfied, This old official will take care of them properly. In that case, I will have to trouble you, beloved official Mo. Your words have been recorded in my heart. We know what to do. At this moment, Mo Lin Hui suddenly realized that he could no longer see through this emperor. Even an old fox like him who had served 3 dynasties could not guess the emperor's true intentions. How could he have known that the emperor in front of him was actually the same person as Leng Shiqi? The Leng Shiqi in the demon-suppressing city had already brought everyone back to the imperial capital through the interdomain teleportation formation. The information had already been sent up, so the Leng Shiqi did not immediately enter the palace. Instead, he chose to rest for 2 days. Regarding this, he was not criticized by the people who thought that he was being arrogant. This was because the matter of the demonic miasma mountain range had already spread throughout the entire Thunderfire dynasty. Leng Shiqi had snuck into the demonic miasma mountain range alone, dealing with 2 Class 7 great demonic beasts, and setting up an ambush to capture all the great demonic beasts in one fell swoop had already shocked countless people. Furthermore, the mastermind behind the demonic miasma mountain range was actually the head of the consecrated hall of the Northern Wei dynasty. This was simply a provocation to the Thunderfire dynasty. Many people cursed at the Northern Wei Empire, and some of them even shouted that they wanted to attack the Northern Wei Empire. It was impossible for them to attack the Northern Wei dynasty, but it was not a problem to use this matter as a warning. More importantly, Leng Shiqi had even brought back Zhuozhou's corpse. Zhuozhou was an expert at the peak of the heavenly origin stage, and was in charge of the Northern Wei dynasty's consecrated hall. He could be considered as the face of the Northern Wei dynasty. But he still died at the hands of Leng Shiqi. This not only caused the Northern Wei dynasty's strength and face to be greatly damaged, it also caused countless people to clap their hands in joy. During this period of time, Leng Shiqi's prestige in the Thunderfire dynasty was unparalleled. Chapter 803. After 2 days, Leng Shiqi was summoned to the palace. According to his intention, he still wanted to recover for a period of time. His injuries were very serious and he had overdrawn a lot of his strength. He needed a long time to recover. Even though he had many heavenly treasures on him that could increase his recovery speed, it would take at least 1 or 2 months for him to recover to his peak state. Right now, he could at most use 40% of his strength. Fortunately, he was in the capital, and there should be no problem with a large number of experts guarding him. The reason why he was in such a hurry to enter the palace was because he wanted to take advantage of the time when his prestige was at its peak to have more confidence. When Leng Shiqi stepped into the palace hall, all the other officials had already arrived. Everyone was looking at him. Everyone's eyes were different. There was admiration, reverence, envy, jealousy, and of course dissatisfaction. Could be said that life was filled with all kinds of emotions. Leng Shiqi walked to the center of the hall and said righteously, "Your Majesty, I did not disappoint you. I have already cleared the beast tide in the demonic miasma mountain range." The sole avatar on the dragon throne laughed heartily. Not only did Minister Lu get rid of the beast tide, he also caught the Northern Wei Empire behind it. This is a great contribution. This is all thanks to your Majesty. I dare not claim any credit. What are you talking about? Today I summon Minister Lu here to reward him. I have already drafted a decree. Zwang. Zhuoying, the little eunuch, immediately held up an imperial decree and read it aloud. By the will of the heavens, the emperor decrees that Lu Xingji, one of the 4 chiefs of the Dark Thunder Guards, has wiped out the beast tide and destroyed the Northern Wei Empire's conspiracy. He is specially conferred the title of prince. Conferred the title of prince. Prince with a different surname? Boom. The imperial court exploded in an uproar. Since ancient times, there were very few princes in each generation. Only the more outstanding princes had the chance to be conferred the title of prince. Moreover, every time there was a change in the imperial power, there would be a few princes who would die. This was a common occurrence. As for princes with different surnames, there were less than 10 of them since the establishment of the Thunderflame dynasty. Those who were conferred the title of prince were all people who had made great contributions. They were even people who had helped the Thunderflame dynasty conquer this land. But what about Leng Shiqi? Even though he had exterminated the beast tide and killed the head of the Northern Wei Empire's Hall of Consecration in a few days, which was a great achievement, he was still not qualified to be conferred the title of king. The soul doppelganger frowned and circulated the spiritual energy in its body. Waves of invisible pressure filled the hall. Everyone felt a chill run down their spines and lowered their heads in silence. Zhuang, read it again. Lu Xingji was a supervisor in the West Baron state with his spirit pulse realm cultivation. During that period of time his rule was peaceful. He even uncovered the smuggling of refined iron in Zhulu state and exterminated the Shenyang sect. After which, he sent an envoy to Zhulu country, secretly forcing them to submit to the Emperor dynasty due to the internal chaos. He was promoted to the supervisor of North County in Gang Spirit Realm. He took part in the elite meeting and then entered the headquarters of Dark Thunder Guards to become the supervisor. During the trip to Shantai County, he had eliminated the Thunder Extermination Alliance and their accomplice, the Sky Crane Gang, and obtained the Heavenly Thunderfire Pearl from Kong Hen Tian. He had been recognized by the late emperor and was specially appointed as one of the 4 chiefs of the Dark Thunder Guards. He was ordered to destroy the top sect, the Thousand Illusion Sword sect, and killed the Thousand Illusion Sword Master by himself to turn the situation around. Not long ago, many masters entered the palace and the Emperor dynasty was in danger. Lu Xingji was not afraid of danger and stepped forward bravely, showing the true colors of the Emperor dynasty. Since His Majesty ascended the throne, the biggest hidden danger of the Emperor dynasty was the spiritual cultivation sections. Lu Xingji planned the world's first spiritual cultivator conference and made the sects in the world fight for themselves. Now they can't even take care of themselves, and the crisis of the Emperor dynasty has disappeared. A few days ago, there was a monster tide in the demon Miasma Mountain, and the Northern Wei dynasty intervened. Lu Xingji took the risk and won a great victory. Zhuang stopped here. He briefly described the experience of Leng Shiqi along the way, but all the courtiers were silent. Because this experience was simply too shocking. If this experience was spread to several people, it would be enough to be praised. But it happened to one person. It was too terrible. Leng Shiqi's strength and ability were too terrifying. He was always able to survive in desperate situations. What was even more terrifying was the speed of his growth. Only a few years had passed since he entered the Dark Lightning Guards in the West Desolate Province. If it was an ordinary person, it would be very good if they could become a great supervisor in such a short time. But Leng Shiqi was now one of the 4 great supervisors and Jinling Duke, who had the power to act as the great commander. Now he was about to be conferred the title of king. If not for everyone hearing it with their own ears, they might have treated this as a joke. Seeing that all the courtiers were silent, the sole doppelganger said, "I didn't want to say much. In my opinion, a trusted official like Lu Xingji is not even enough to be a king. I understand your thoughts, but think about it. When 6 Direction Spirit Sovereign brought a large number of spiritual cultivation sect experts to attack the Emperor Palace, who was the first to stand up? Lu Xingji was willing to die to protect the dignity of the Thunderblaze dynasty. This courage and this loyalty are rarely seen. A mere king is nothing." The courtiers' expressions began to waver. There were many reasons why they were not willing to let Leng Shiqi be conferred the title of king. But all of them had a common reason. They were afraid that Leng Shiqi's achievements would overshadow the emperor's and cause chaos in the Thunderblaze dynasty. Perhaps he did not have such thoughts now, but what about in the future? People change. At this time, Mo Linhui took 2 steps forward. He knew that it was time for him to appear. "Head Steward Lu, I have a question to ask." Leng Shiqi knew that this old thing was about to start acting. "Minister Mo, please ask." According to the rules of the imperial dynasty, all kings with different surnames will have their own fief. May I ask if Supervisor Lu is willing to stay in the imperial capital or have your own fief? When the others heard this, they immediately perked up. If Leng Shiqi was conferred the title of king, he would naturally have to go to his own fief. That would mean that he would have to leave the imperial capital, the center of power. Although he had a lot of power in his fief and could be called a country within a country, he was not much of a threat. Because in this world, if you wanted to rebel, you not only needed the number of soldiers, but also the number of experts. In terms of experts, could you have more than the Thunderblaze dynasty? Therefore, once you were conferred the title of king, it meant that your power was almost at its peak. In the past, all the kings with different surnames were like this. They wanted to eliminate the potential threats of these people. Moreover, everyone thought of another layer. That was that Leng Shiqi going to his fief seemed to conflict with the position of Dark Thunder Guard commander. The Dark Thunder Guard commander had to stay in the imperial capital headquarters. But after being conferred the title of king, he would have to go to his fief. How would he choose? Thinking of this, the courtiers felt a little better. In their eyes, the position of Dark Thunder Guard commander was even more tempting than being conferred the title of king. It was a position that controlled the intelligence of the entire Thunderblaze dynasty and held countless secrets. In this world, if there was one person that no one wanted to offend, it would definitely be the Dark Thunder Guard commander. Originally, Leng Shiqi could have taken over the position of Dark Thunder Guard commander after breaking through to Sky Origin stage. But now, if he accepted the title of king and went to his fief, the position of Great Commander would basically be abolished. And if he wanted the position of Great Commander, he would have to reject being conferred the title of king. When the courtiers understood this, they immediately felt that their emperor was playing a trick of a promotion in name but a demotion in reality. He was truly far-sighted. They also wanted to see how Leng Shiqi would choose. Leng Shiqi said without hesitation, "This subject is naturally willing to follow the rules of the imperial capital and go to his fief." Chapter 804. Leng Shiqi's casual words stunned Mo Linhui and the other officials. Being the commander of the Dark Thunder Guards and being conferred the title of king were both great benefits. Different people might have different choices if they wanted to control the intelligence of the world or be a prince who controlled a region. But to make such a decision he had to think it through carefully. However, Leng Shiqi's reply was too fast. Leng Shiqi looked around and took in everyone's expressions. He laughed and said, "Officials, I believe none of you want to see me take the position of commander of the Dark Thunder Guards." The officials were stunned because Leng Shiqi's words hit the nail on the head. Today, including the previous reward, they were all against Leng Shiqi. Once he became the commander of the Dark Thunder Guards in the future, he would have their weak points in his hands. Who among those present dared to say that they were clean? Even if there was only the slightest bit of uncleanliness, it would still be used as a topic of discussion. It was no secret that Leng Shiqi was someone who would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. "Apart from this, I know what you're worried about. You're afraid that my achievements will overshadow your master. Since that's the case, let me leave the imperial capital and let you be at ease." Head Steward Liu is righteous. Mo Linhui suddenly shouted. These people made everyone feel a little guilty. Look at them. In order to eliminate the groundless threat, they gave up the position of commander of the Dark Thunder Guards. Just this point alone was enough to make people admire them. However, some people felt that it was a little strange. With their understanding of Leng Shiqi, he was not someone who would easily be taken advantage of. As expected, Leng Shiqi turned to the dragon throne and said, "However, I also have a condition." The soul clone stretched out his hand and said, "Dear official, there is no harm in saying it. I want to choose a piece of land for myself." The others immediately fell into deep thought. The Thunderflame dynasty had a total of 36 provinces. Naturally, there were many differences. Some provinces had thin spirit chi and the people worked hard. Some provinces were rich and could be called heavens. There was still a huge gap between them. In the past, no matter if it was a prince or a prince with a different surname, they did not have the right to choose their own fief. It was a decision made after much consideration. However, Leng Shiqi had given up the position of commander of the Dark Thunder Guards and was willing to go to the fief. It seemed reasonable to let him choose a prefecture. The Soul Avatar looked around and saw that no one was going to object. He said, "Of course, bring me the map." Soon, the two eunuchs unfurled the map of the Thunderflame dynasty in the hall. There were 36 provinces and some markings on it. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the map. The most fertile places were Donglin County, Pinghui County, and other places. These states and counties were adjacent to the ocean and had countless rare resources. Moreover, there was no threat from other dynasties. Only the overseas forces were weak and couldn't threaten the Thunderblaze dynasty at all. It was simply a place to pick up money. Moreover, the 9 eastern counties that Leng Shiqi was in charge of included these places. Therefore, everyone thought that he would choose this place. Leng Shiqi stood still for a while and pointed at a place on the map. "Your Majesty, I want this place." Everyone immediately looked over and their expressions changed. The place that Leng Shiqi chose was the Western Wilderness County. Although the Western Wilderness County had the word wilderness, it was definitely not a barren land. On the contrary, it was the western border of the Thunderblaze dynasty. It was connected to the 6 countries of the western region and had been conducting trade all year round. In terms of richness, it was only slightly inferior to Donglin County. The officials were shocked because they felt that Leng Shiqi would not consider this place at all. Or rather, the Thunderblaze dynasty would never treat the Western Wilderness County as Leng Shiqi's fief. There was only one reason. This was the border. How could the border be given to a prince with a different surname? Previously, everyone was willing to accept Leng Shiqi as king because they thought that he wouldn't be able to do anything in his fief. However, if he raised a large number of troops in the Western Wilderness County and colluded with the 6 countries of the Western region or even the Starfall dynasty, then opened the border gates, the Thunderblaze dynasty would be caught off guard. The Western Wilderness County could not be given to him. In a blink of an eye, an official came out and said, "Head Steward Lu, you can choose to be king in fief. Other than the western, southern, and northern borders, you can choose any county. I think His Majesty has the same intention." "That's right. Head Steward Lu, you should choose another place. It's not that we don't believe you, but this is an important border. We must be careful." The officials began to persuade Leng Shiqi. Mo Linhui waited until the last to speak. "Can Head Steward Lu tell us why you chose the Western Wilderness County?" "It started in the Western Wilderness County, that's all." Leng Shiqi only said these few words and didn't want to explain more. This was a reason that couldn't be considered a reason. It definitely couldn't convince the officials. Everyone thought that Mo Linhui would refute. Unexpectedly he said, "I see. It seems that Head Steward Lu is a man of character. Your Majesty, I think that we can give the Western Wilderness County to Head Steward Lu." Wow! The hall was instantly filled with exclamations. It was impossible that Mo Xianghua didn't know the importance of the border. Then why did he still support Leng Shiqi? Could it be that he had been bought over by Leng Shiqi? Most of the people thought so. However, they remembered that Mo Xianghua had been a senior official for 3 dynasties. Although he wasn't completely clean, he had never married anyone. This didn't seem like his style. Mo Linhui continued, "I know that everyone is worried. However, don't forget that the Western Wilderness County is guarded by the Azure Thunder Army. I don't think anyone would dare to invade. Moreover, with Head Steward Lu, the Western Wilderness County will be safe." Hearing this, the officials' eyes lit up. Because Mo Linhui mentioned the Azure Thunder Army. This was the elite army of the Thunderfire dynasty guarding the border. They were even stronger than the Azure Thunder Army. Even if Leng Shiqi went to the Western Wilderness County, he would still be suppressed by the Azure Thunder Army. On the other hand, if Leng Shiqi chose to go to another county, he would basically be the local tyrant. However, in the Western Wilderness County, with the Azure Thunder Army suppressing him, he could only be a free and unfettered lord at most. Thinking about it this way, Leng Shiqi going to the Western Wilderness County seemed quite good. At that moment, no one in the hall objected. The soul clone struck while the iron was hot. He waved his hand and said, "Since there are no objections, I have decided to give Lu Xingji the title of Prince and the Western Wilderness County as his fief." "Thank you, Your Majesty." Leng Shiqi bowed respectfully. Mo Linhui turned around and cupped his fists. "Congratulations, Head Steward Lu. No, I should call you Western Wilderness King now." All the officials said in unison, "Congratulations, Western Wilderness King." You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.